I'm hungry. In class, writing down notes, watching this. Hell yeah.
The common denominator with a lot of them is that they are wildly insecure about their own intellect.
What's up, Johnny?
And they super don't like being checked on
Johnny
in any capacity. And a lot of these men are very prone to putting people in very abusive situations. So stay away from that.
Trip. That's the only way to, be heard is to be louder and be ruder. And most people don't listen that well, so they shut up, right? And that's what they want. They don't really have anything to say. They'll just put you down to say something, essentially. But that drove me nuts, and I was just trying to come up just to...
I appreciate you.
Call him an idiot.
I appreciate you. Take it easy, okay?
Bye. Have a good day, guys.
You too. Thank you so much.
Be safe.
Yeah.
I like her hair.
Yeah, super cool. All right, only join if you do think that being lesbian is wrong. Just looking for some debates. W guess for real.
I once was seeing a guy and I debated him and he got so mad at me. He was like, every time I say something, you always have a rebuttal. And I'm like, that's kind of what my job is.
That's the point, right? Like if I didn't have a rebuttal, I wouldn't be a good debater.
You know what I mean? I was like, I didn't even mean to debate him. And he just got so mad at me. He got so mad. I was like, it's only been a week. Oh my God.
If you are joining and you think being lesbian is wrong, click the guest request to debate. What's up, Brandon? How old are you?
I'm 21.
What year were you born?
2003.
Okay. Do you think that being lesbian is wrong?
I do.
How come?
Because I think our intended purpose is to procreate as a human species.
Who gave us that purpose?
You could say humans gave the purpose. You could say God. You could say whatever.
So is purpose subjective or objective?
Wait. I'm sorry. Before we even do that, you said humans gave it purpose. What humans?
Yeah.
Well, people who have children, like the majority of people.
People who have children determine the purpose of other humans?
I mean, yeah, if everybody was, homo, then the human species wouldn't continue.
You didn't answer my question, by the way.
Oh, okay. All right.
Right. So you said that people who have children determine the purpose of the rest of humanity?
No, that's not what I said. So
then what did you say?
I said I believe that our purpose is to procreate. But
then AG asked you where you're determining this purpose from, and you said from people who have children.
Are you gonna let me finish?
I'm making sure you understand the question.
Nah, I don't need to understand nothing. You gotta let me finish.
I don't know why I would let you finish if you don't know what you're talking about already.
Oh, so that's how you debate? You cut people off?
I'm not trying to cut you off. I'm making sure that you understand what's being asked of you.
Okay, again. My point is that you cannot procreate in this relationship.
Yeah, I'm asking you where you are determining this.
That's not what your original statement was.
Your
original statement was not that we can't procreate. So you moved the goalpost.
That's what I said.
So what is it?
Thank you so much. That's what I said.
Why is the purpose again to procreate?
So the purpose is subjective or objective? And who determines that purpose?
You said people who have kids.
Humans determine that purpose. All of humanity, the people who have kids, determine everybody's purpose to have kids.
Is it singular or is it determined by people who are fertile?
I'm not saying it's our only purpose, but if we didn't procreate...
We know you didn't say that.
Yo, she won't let me finish one statement. That's so funny. Can I finish?
I don't know why you're not answering the question. I don't think you even know your own stance.
Okay, the only point that I made is that in these relationships, you cannot procreate.
That wasn't the point you made, though.
And she cuts me off again, chat. Y'all see this?
That wasn't the point you made. That wasn't the point you made.
That's not what you said, Brandon, when you came in here. So which one is it? You're moving the goalpost.
No. The whole thing that I said is that you cannot procreate. That's what I said.
That's not what you said when you came in here. I will screen record it and send it back to you. That's not what you said when you came in here. You said the purpose of life is to procreate. We said, where do you determine that? Who determines that?
Oh, you're asking me who determines that?
Oh, yeah, just really quickly.
Oh, my God, we've been talking about that for 5 minutes.
Really quickly, I want to remind you guys in the chat, I'm not your fucking friend, neither is AG. If you talk shit about me, I'm blocking your ass. Now you get nothing. Watch your fucking mouth. Anyway.
Yeah, and if you say Tashika is rude, I am muting you.
Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and explain to you exactly what you said, right? You came in here and said that our purpose, even if it's not our entire purpose, is to like procreate. We asked you how you determine this. You said humans determine this. I asked you what humans. You said people who have children. Why?
No. What I said was, for our species to continue, we have to procreate.
Brandon, that's not what you said. So now are you? Is this your new point, Brandon?
Brandon,
Brandon, is this your new point? Because that's not what you said. That's not what you said. So pick one. Is it the purpose of our is the purpose our
I can't
to
even
reproduce?
finish one sentence.
Yeah, bro, because you keep moving the goalposts. So I'm gonna cut you off in
You
the
want
middle
to
of
make
your
a new
sentence.
argument?
Because
You want to make
what I have
which
to
argument
say.
do you want to pick? Pick one. Is
You
it
do
is
this
it
to
our
everybody
purpose is
at
to
that.
reproduce, or we're gonna die off if we don't reproduce? Pick one.
Is this what you do to everybody who comes in your live? You don't let them talk?
Make sure they
Cry
say
about it.
Yes.
Cry about it. Yes,
We-
I am. Yes, I am. That's my entire point of debating you is to make sure that you pick a fucking argument and you stick to it. If you pivot to something else, I'm gonna go back to your original argument. Pick a fucking argument and stick to it. You're embarrassing yourself.
He realizes he's making two different arguments here. You're making two different arguments. You're talking about one with purpose and
I
one
don't
with
think I made any point.
modality or
I
something
haven't
like
been
that.
able to speak, so I don't know how.
You
I
have.
Brandon,
You can cry about
you
it.
are saying two
I won't cry. I'm not a
different
lesbian.
things. I don't know what you're not grasping. You're saying two different things right now.
It's okay, guys. Y'all
What
see
is he
one
not
Have
day.
a good day, brother.
Am I tweeting?
Have a good fucking day, crybaby. Moving
Wait,
on.
what?
All right, if you're joining and you think being lesbian is wrong, click the guest quest to debate.
Hello,
Hey, how old are you?
I am 55.
All right, do you think that being lesbian is wrong?
No, but I think being lesbian is not necessarily the best decision.
That's not a decision, bye.
For herself.
Oh my god.
Okay, so decision. So can you give me a source that says sexual orientation is a choice?
I believe so.
I don't care if you believe so. I want the truth of the matter, and so I don't care what you believe. Like I care if people believe in wrong things and right things. And so again, if you're just gonna, do you think that it's like smart for you to believe in things that are true, or
No,
do you just want to look
think-
foolish and
I
believe things that are dumb?
I believe as it is said by the people.
What?
Say, for example, I believe as it is said by the people. Suppose you come out and tell
You
me-
believe as it is said by the people, you believe in
Yeah.
common
Like
sense.
for example, if you tell me that you are a lesbian, I will believe you.
Okay. So
Okay, but if you tell
with that
me
being
I
said,
am a lesbian, I won't believe it.
Yes, because that is a statement about you comparative to another person. You are yourself. You know what is true of yourself. You don't know what is true of another person. You have no form of reference regarding them, which means that anything they say to you that they are, you would have to believe. I don't know what you're saying here, but you
That is what
said
I'm saying.
previously,
That's exactly what
Mr.
I'm
Citizen, Mr. Citizen, I'm speaking. Right? You said previously that it is a choice. We are asking you how that is the case.
Okay. In my opinion, it is a choice because unless you really try out enough of two paths, you can't say which is the right path.
Now that's gross.
okay, did you get to did you try out
Ball
being with a
crushing?
man? Did you try out being with a man to figure out which one you were?
Yeah.
I have experimented.
Have you ever
You
tried
have?
ball crushing?
I have.
Okay, so then you figured out by experimentation, but it's not it's not a
both
choice
sides.
because not everybody can do that. So like I can't experiment with a man and figure out if I
wait a
like
minute.
him
But wait a minute.
because they're not a choice.
wait a minute.
That choice of being with that person is a choice. The attraction originally is not a choice.
But wait a minute. Did you just say that you slept with men?
I didn't say I slept with men. I experimented sexuality with men.
You're conflating experimentation with orientation.
That's all I'm
But
saying.
also, wait. Did you like it or not?
At that time, I actually liked it.
You're not straight. I don't know what you're talking about.
At that time, I
Did you
liked
choose
it.
that?
Now
Did you
I
choose to
don't.
like it?
At that time, I liked
Did you
it.
choose to like it?
At that time, I chose to like
Did
it.
you choose to like
At
it?
You
that
chose. You
time, I
actively chose to like it.
At that time, I chose to like it.
Do you
No, the
choose?
fuck you
Do you
didn't, bro.
choose? Hold on,
Yes, I
Mr.
liked it.
Citizen.
That's all I can say. At that time, I
Mr.
liked
Citizen,
it.
that's awesome.
And I didn't have
I'm
any-
glad.
I didn't
Mr.
have any
Citizen,
restrictions.
Mr. Citizen, Mr. Citizen, do you actively choose what foods you like?
Yes.
Okay, that's all I need to know. All right, have a good day.
Be
You
a
can't
lame
argue
dude.
with a wall
I
when
think
people think they
people-
choose what foods they like,
People
bro.
don't know what words mean. I think that's the issue. People don't know what the word choice and
Take it
choose
easy,
mean.
though. What's up, August? How old are you?
I am 45.
I have a little bit of free reign.
Do you think being lesbian is wrong? What's up, Justin?
I don't think that it's necessarily wrong, but can I ask some questions?
It's gonna
Sure.
have to be
Can you turn off the
what-
TV in the background? It's a little loud.
Oh,
on
sure.
the side of the shed wall and install glass supporting.
Okay. At what age did you know?
Kindergarten.
Kindergarten?
What age did you know?
I didn't know. So I'm going to say that I find women fully attractive.
Okay.
I don't have a problem with finding women attractive. I am a straight female, but that doesn't mean that I necessarily find lesbianism wrong, I guess. I'm just here just because I'm inquisitive about, when do you know and what do you do?
The way I described it as, okay, so there's a difference between being able to find other women attractive.
Yeah, humans are
right?
beautiful creatures.
Right,
we know
we
that.
can acknowledge
humans
when
are beautiful creatures.
other people are attractive, right? But there's a difference between being able to see yourself, like, I see how I can describe
in
it.
a
When I was
relationship
younger,
with somebody.
exactly, like whether or not you'll be able to see yourself in close proximity with that person romantically. But even sometimes it doesn't even extend to that. Sometimes it's just sexually as well, right? The way I would describe it is like growing up, I was always acutely aware of the other girls around me and how they looked. I think a lot of the time, the main difference in experience that I've seen with like queer children and non-queer children is that young girls were not competing with each other, but they were aware of how the other party looked, right? They were aware of how the other party looked, and they also wanted to look like them as well so they could also look pretty. But my experience was acknowledging that they looked pretty and wanting to be around them a lot. Not necessarily like putting that back on myself and wanting to like mirror a type of beauty to attract other people or to fit into a certain setting. But I was just straight attracted to them, and it was less envy. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. And then
Like I feel like if you're not attracted to them, you're more so like when I see Jennifer Lawrence, right? I think she's attractive, but it's more envy and not attraction.
Yeah, there's a lot of gender envy, but you can't conflate that with attraction, with being like wanting to be in a relationship with that person.
Right. So I'm just honestly, I'm in this middle ground of I have a child that she said she's non-binary, and I don't understand a lot of the terms. I'm going to be 100%
Well, that's
honest.
different. That's different than being a lesbian. Because that's more
that's gender
identity.
expression.
Are you asking if a non-binary person can be lesbian?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So gender, like the way that you present like your gender, is completely different than your sexual orientation, and you can't conflate the two. They have nothing to do with each other.
Okay. So if I'm speaking to somebody such as a child of mine that expresses, herself that way, what I said to her was, it doesn't bother me. I don't care who you're with. Who you're with has nothing to do with how I feel about you as an individual, just like who I'm with should be the same for her. And that offended her, and I don't understand why.
Wait, what part offended her?
The fact that I said, I don't care who you're with. It doesn't make a difference.
I think you should have a deeper conversation with your child about that.
Yeah.
But
I will say
took it as like I don't care who you know what I mean? Maybe she took it as like a different tone than what you meant. But if you genuinely meant it as if you were neutral with your child's experience, then like I don't see an issue with that, but I would think that's more of a deeper conversation with your child. She probably took it in the wrong way.
Or if you're misgendering your child. But I will say, August, can you DM me? Because I am just looking for debates. And I will like talk to you over DM.
Yeah, absolutely. I can do that. It's
Okay,
just, all right. Thanks.
All right, take it easy, okay?
You too.
All right. If you are joining and you think being lesbian is wrong, click the guest quest to debate. What's up? How old are you?
Good afternoon. I am 57 years old, and my daughter is a dom. She came out to me when she was 15. And I just want to give like the parents' perspective. I'm old school. So my brother was gay, and he never came out to my parents until he was out of the military and lived on his own.
Wait, do you think it's wrong though?
No, I don't think it's wrong. I just feel that some people they're just judgmental, and sometimes it's religion. But in religion, you have to understand that God gives everybody a choice.
I
appreciate your work. I appreciate your work. Thank you for being a safe space for your child, your brother.
And I really don't want to get into religion.
Mama, you ate that. You already eaten too much. Leave the food for the rest of us, please.
Okay, I'm gonna slow down.
But we are just looking for some debates. We are just looking for people who do think it's wrong. But thank you for being a safe space for your family. Okay.
Yeah. And I just want to explain the gamut that me and my daughter went through, because at first I wasn't accepting. I was very afraid for her. I was afraid for her.
I appreciate all of that, but I am just looking for people to debate. But I appreciate that, and my DMs are open. And also, I do talk about this on here.
Why are you guys shutting me down?
Because we're just looking
for you, Mama.
Because what?
This conversation isn't necessarily for you. If you want to speak to more parents with queer children, I think it's good for you to make your own video. But right now on this platform, we are just looking for people who do think it's wrong, right? This isn't a discussion forum.
But there was an evolution in me. I didn't always feel that it was right.
That's awesome for you. But if you no longer feel that way, that means you've already deconstructed.
I don't know about deconstruct. You guys are mean.
What the fuck?
Bye.
What the?
I don't know if you've ever watched any other debates, but typically we just want people that think that it's wrong.
Bro. This is why it's so hard.
What's up? Hello, how old are you?
What's going on?
Hello, how old are you?
How y'all doing? I'm 52 years old, and yeah, it's wrong.
How come?
I mean, yeah, you say y'all trying looking for people that disagree with what y'all saying, right?
Yup.
Oh, okay, it's wrong because, for one, if you look at, we ain't even gonna talk about God. We're gonna talk about the nature of things. 2 women can't create no baby. 2 men can't create no baby.
2 infertile people can't create a baby either. Is that wrong?
Okay, but 2 infertile.
I asked you if it was wrong though.
What, that two infertile people can't create a baby? Is that wrong?
Yeah.
Why would that be wrong? That's life.
Because they can't reproduce. You just said. Okay, so let me do the math for you. Let me do the math for you. Let me make the equation for you, right? Because this is called critical thinking, and so, in simple terms, critical thinking is when you are able to have a stance or a principle, right? And what you do with your critical thought is you extend that principle to other applicable examples. And if you are able to do that, and you realize that this principle does not apply to all applicable examples, then you have a faulty principle, because principles are supposed to apply to everything, right? In all circumstances, all things considered, right? So, you said here that non-baby bad, no have baby equal bad, but infertile people no have baby. Therefore, you should also say no have baby bad for infertile people. But if for infertile people not have baby not bad, then not have baby not bad. Right? So that means the actual difference here is that one side of the equation has same gender attraction and the other side doesn't actually, right? So it isn't necessarily the fact that they cannot reproduce that is the issue for you. It is the fact that you are just homophobic. Now respond to that, Unc.
Okay, Unc, Auntie, whoever you will.
Me too.
Now, see, I'm on here to enlighten. I ain't on here to be doing all that male bashing, female bashing, all that.
I didn't do any of that. Can you address what I said?
Okay. I let you talk. So let me talk.
But now you're wasting our time, though. I don't care about this.
No, I'm not wasting your time. I'm trying to get to my point.
That's what I'm telling you to speed up.
Okay, so if you wanna get me to get to my point, just let me get to it. Okay, what you're speaking on is something that's ain't that person's problem. A person, when they're not fertile, if you're not fertile, that's not your problem.
What are you talking about?
You just said that a person, if they fertile and this person is not fertile, it's bad. Say this, say that, that's bad.
What?
Oh, now you act like you don't know what you just said.
No, I'm acting like I don't know what you just said.
Yeah, now you acting like you don't know what you just said. Okay,
You did not
but
repeat
anyway,
what I said.
Anyway, listen, excuse me. Can we have a conversation without you trying to insinuate that I don't know what the hell I'm talking about? Because I know what I'm talking about.
I don't have to insinuate anything.
Okay, but anyway, like I said, I know what y'all on here for. I know what you do. You're on here just to get a rise and a reaction out of a
God, you're
person.
doing everything but answering the fucking question. Can you
The
respond to what I
fucking
said?
question is this here. The fucking question is this here.
What?
Two men can't have a baby. Two women can't have a baby.
Yeah. So what's wrong with
Fucking
that?
infertile people.
All
So,
right.
so I'll break up, Trench. I'll break it down for you. Trench, I'll break it down for you. So again, the issue is with your logic. You're saying that if somebody can't reproduce, you're saying we cannot reproduce. A man and a man cannot reproduce, and a lesbian and a lesbian cannot reproduce. We can via the same ways that a infertile couple can, but you would say that's not natural, and so then we'd go down that route. Again, my point being though, if you don't hold the same standard to this infertile couple, why do you hold the standard to us that we can't reproduce and we're wrong because we can't reproduce? So what is the relevant distinction between me and the infertile couple? Because otherwise you don't hold to reproduction. There's something deeper than that, and you should just drop the reproduction argument because you don't actually care about the reproduction if you don't care about infertile couples.
They're saying is that your principle is faulty. It doesn't apply to all applicable.
No, the infertile person couple is like that because they don't have no choice. You have a choice in the matter whether you want to be with a man or a
Trench,
woman.
so you think it's a choice to be a lesbian?
Want to be a man or a woman?
Yes, it's a choice. Yes,
Okay,
it's a
so
choice.
okay, Trench. So give me a study that says sexual orientation is a choice.
Because
No, that's not what I asked. That's not what I asked.
You said
give me a study. Give me a study, a science study, something around psychology, a study that has been done that says sexual orientation is a choice. If you want to say things that are true, you can't just say like whatever the fuck you want. That's harmful. So do you want to look silly or do you want to know things that are true? So again, find me a study, Trench, that says sexual orientation is a choice. If you're going to make that claim, back it up. Otherwise,
you
go
give me a study that says it's not.
You made the claim. You made the claim.
You
made the claim.
I'm so happy you said that.
You give me a study that says
the NIH. I'll give you a study. But you made the claim.
Give me one.
Okay.
American Psychological Association.
Yeah, American Psychological Association, the NIH. All you got to do is look up is sexual orientation a choice.
Everything a person does is a choice.
Not necessarily.
Really? No, that's not how that works.
Yes, it is.
Is your hold on, Trench? So did you get to choose how tall you were?
Hell yeah.
Oh, you're delusional.
There's no, you got to choose how tall you were.
There's no
conversation with that shit. That's why I asked those questions because like, oh my god.
Hell yeah. He's 5'5".
Can you hear me?
What's up? How old are you?
I'm 20.
All right. Do you think that being lesbian is wrong?
So personally, I don't have any issues with how people want to conduct their lives. So I would say no. I was just curious, kind of. I had like a few questions about you personally. If are you comfortable with answering?
Ask the first question. I'll let you know.
Yeah. So first question is, are you lesbian?
Yes.
Okay. Second question would be, when did you kind of come to that realization? Was it a cumulative thing, or was it like, how did
Can I ask why you're asking these before I answer the questions?
I'm just curious. I'm just trying to learn more. I'm just trying to.
The same way you found out do you like women?
I do.
The exact same way.
It's the exact same way.
The exact same way.
There's nothing different between you and me.
Literally
the exact
nothing.
same way you
The
found out you had
exact same-
crushes on girls, the same way I found out I had crushes on girls.
The exact same.
I grew up in a conservative Christian household that was not like a safe place for me, and I still was attracted to women.
Gotcha. So you grew up and you kind of just knew as you grew up that it was
same way you did.
Whatever experience you had is the exact same experience she had.
I respect that. Okay. I was curious kind of what you thought in terms of why do you think there's kind of been an uptick in recent years in like
religion?
people identifying with religion is why people are.
Oh wait, sorry. Never mind. I didn't let you finish your
LGBT.
question. I'm sorry.
No,
I didn't let you
fine.
finish your question. Sorry.
So I was saying, like, in terms of like LGBT community, it's definitely grown in recent years.
Yeah.
The same reason that more people are saying that they're left-handed. It's because previously, like, people were sterilized if they came out as LGBTQ.
They were literally put in conversion camps.
Exactly.
We make up like 50% of the homeless population because we're kicked out. Like especially in the southern states, it's extremely looked down upon. I've heard horrendous shit to me in public. What do you call it? The hate crimes against us are insane.
Yeah.
So the religion, especially in the South, has really gotten really bad recently. But it like. Of course, anybody where we become more of a safe place, or things become more of a safe place, people are going to be.
That's typically what happens.
Come out. Yeah, it's the same with the left-handed
Like, for
study.
example, black people didn't go hiking. More black people are going hiking. Black people before didn't like to go swim. More black people are swimming. Why do you think that is?
I honestly could. Maybe the idea of people are trying to be more individuals and just kind of.
Did you seriously forget the entirety of 5th grade history?
What do you mean?
What happened to black people when they went outside in Jim Crow?
Are you talking about just like in the South? Yes, I do.
No. It was in the North too. It was not just in the South.
Right. In terms of, are you talking about like racism or like lynchings that would happen and things like that?
Right. Right.
Yeah.
So when black people would go into pools, what would happen?
I don't know.
Yeah, that's fucking terrible. Go ahead and read up on that first, because that's actually fucking crazy. Actually, I'm actually gonna go ahead and not do that.
I do know of, like, I have specifically heard of, like, that there was like one specific instance.
It was not one specific instance.
I'm just saying from my personal experience. Like, I've heard of like one thing where it was something with there's a black person in the pool and they did something. I don't remember what they did to.
That wasn't even the first or last instance of that. How old are you?
I'm 20.
You should be ashamed.
Oh, for what reason?
Because you don't know the basics of American history, and I'm not going to sit here and explain all that to you.
Well, I do.
Dalty, if you just read the comments, bro, they're telling you.
That's actually fucking crazy, bro. You don't remember Jim Crow, brother? That's fucking crazy. Where were you?
Not alive. Where were you?
In school. In school.
Yes, I know that in school, you know.
Were you not taught about Jim Crow? Define Jim Crow right now, actually. Define Jim Crow.
Jim Crow laws are any laws set in place to discriminate against African Americans.
They weren't any laws because they still exist today. So what is
systematically laws put in place to put down African Americans? Is that not a good definition of Jim Crow laws?
Right. So what are you not grasping here when I ask you about why more black people are doing leisure activities?
Right. And I was making the point of, like, as our society's grown, we've gotten to a point where we are more free as individuals.
Right. You just answered the question yourself. So why did you ask AG that question?
I'm just looking here at a statistic that shows from 2012, there's a 3.5%.
But you just understood. You just said the answer.
But that was in terms of something
you just
else.
said that you haven't understood.
Okay, so you said 2012, right?
Right. 2012 is like
yeah. So when did we get rights for equal marriage?
2012.
No, 2015.
2015. Okay. Gotcha. I'm not.
So before that, we couldn't even get equally married. And there's still laws against us when it comes to having children.
Gotcha.
So like through IVF and stuff like that, we have to go through a third party system and adopt the child. But the straight couple that's infertile doesn't have to do that. So like there are still laws in place against us, and currently actively in.
GA white men still can't donate fucking blood, brother.
Do what?
GA white men still can't donate blood.
Oh yeah, that's
all right. So in the future, when we get rid of that law, are we going to see more GAY men donate blood?
I mean, that's a personal, like on an individual.
I need you to use your critical thought for a second, right?
You understood earlier. The point is like the more we make something open and accepted, then the more people are going to be able to be safe in coming out, knowing they're not going to be harmed. 700,000 adults and 400,000 kids went through conversion therapy, literal torture. They would use electroshock therapy on these kids, use nausea medicine. Like the torture methods they used to make these kids straight was fucking disgusting.
Yeah, I completely agree. That was disgusting that happened.
Not only that, but like you got to think these parents would, I mean, specifically, my anecdotal experience is gross in itself, but like people take their kids. And also, there's still 1,000 therapists that are practicing this in the United States. Not only that, but in 68 countries outside of the U.S., it's completely illegal, and you can go to prison for life. Just for being
not only that, but in other countries, specifically in
so they're not safe, but they come here, and I have those people in my DMs that are in relationships with people that are American, and they're like, I don't feel safe holding my partner's hand out in public. So like, yes, the rise is going to happen because it's safer, but not everywhere. Whereas you'll look at these countries where it's illegal, these people do not come out because they can't.
Right. So you're saying basically that the number of people hasn't actually changed that are LGBTQ, but that it's just that they're more open about it now and they can be themselves. Is that kind of...
Maybe I'm too mean. Maybe I'm a bitch because AG, is this conversation not weird to you? Is this like learned helplessness not weird to you right now?
No, I'm just trying to figure out. I'm
talking to AG. Does this not feel weird to you?
I think I'm like I'm with you on the like not teaching like about racism and stuff like that as a black person. Like I understand like that. I mean, same at this whole conversation.
But it's not even like teaching about racism. He understood the concept that when we give access to things that we're used to not have access to, that more people will do it. But then he couldn't apply that to queer people.
Yeah.
How much are we supposed to explain to this?
Yeah, I mean, I think I wonder why you're. Yeah, you can speak, Delty. You can just you can unpress.
Why are you here? Why are you here?
But I mean, I think my problem would be like you can look these things up. I think
right. Yeah,
that's my thing. But also, most of this is common sense. This is what happens when things are illegal and then they become illegal. Like we have a plethora of examples of this. This feels disingenuous. This feels like weaponized incompetence. You are coming into queer people's spaces and asking the most obvious questions known to fucking mankind. And I don't believe in holding safe space for people like you. You're an adult.
Well, I'm just trying to learn.
Are you though? Like, are you?
I think
I'm just trying to get other opinions. I feel like
why would you not like go do the research yourself?
Like, why are you coming on TikTok?
Why do y'all have this live going then?
Well, this is to debate people that think it's wrong. You don't think it's wrong. You just want to ask me questions to learn.
Well,
I don't feel like you're actually, but I don't feel like he's actually trying to learn, though. I think this is disingenuous. Like, do
you think it's my responsibility to ask black people their oppression, or is it my responsibility to learn the oppression that they are under? What responsibility is it? Do I sit here and talk to black people all day and have them teach me, or should I go and learn myself?
Like, for example, like what research have you done outside of TikTok? Because if you've done none of it, then I don't feel comfortable continuing this conversation with you, because people like you, what you typically like to do is you come to spaces like this to get as little information as possible, just so you can say that you did do something so people can't call you out, but you're doing nothing, right? So what research have you done previously on this?
What research have I done previously on this? Yes. I haven't really done any research on it.
Exactly. This is pathetic. You're a 20-year-old man, right? Take your ass to Google. Are you in college?
Why does that matter?
It's a yes or no.
I am, but why does that matter?
Okay, so then it shows that you have a basic like educational, prowess, right? Do you know how to do like a research paper?
Yes.
Right, so then that means you know how to look up sources. So I'm a little bit confused, right? This is not how you do this. This is not how you do this. You need to go and do your own research first, and then you come and ask questions. Because I think it's crazy.
Okay, here's an important thing too, Dorothy. You know that you're only going to have a conversation with me for like 10 minutes.
Limited. Like,
it's very limited. And so like what you could do instead, if you really wanted to learn, was go and look up all these things. Most people don't even know why we chose the rainbow. And so like if you really wanted to know why there was an uprise, I would just Google search that. So I guess I just don't understand why.
That's a huge point. Because what if AG didn't know the answer to that question? Would you just remain ignorant?
I'm just here to try and learn a little bit more. What
if AG did not know the answer to that question? Would you just remain ignorant?
No, I would go research it myself, which is what I've been doing at the time.
You see what I mean, Chad? People like this make me feel weird.
So I'm looking at latest results.
You take advantage of people, and it's weird.
I think it's very important that when you want to know something, Dolphy, that you go do your own research and you don't use other people and exploit me or exploit other races or exploit women. to learn their own oppression. You should go learn the oppression that oppressed people are under, minorities are under. You should go do your own research on that, because
right, but open dialogue is a huge way for people
you
to
haven't even
understand.
taken
yes, but this is TikTok. But this is TikTok, and this is very limited. This is very limited because especially if you're in debate platforms,
yes, this is
you
for my
should know
college
that you're only going to be up here for like maybe 10 minutes, and some people won't even waste their time on you. You know what I mean? And I'm being graceful enough to even talk to you, but most people won't. And so I think it's very important for you to know. The same way that you don't sit around and ask black people where their oppression started. You go do your own research, or where misogyny started and how that started. You go do your own research. You don't sit around and use the people that were oppressed to learn. You do your research.
My thing is this.
Because it's so much deeper than you think, and I can only share so much with you. It's so deep. I can only share so much with you.
My thing is this, right? Here's my point, right? You're an adult. You're an adult. And even though AG is a lesbian, that does not mean that AG understands the intricacies of what makes a lesbian a lesbian. Does not mean that she understands the psychology of it, the physicalities of the lesbian brain. She's just
how
simply
would she not if she is a lesbian?
Do you understand the intricacies of all of your brain?
I understand my brain better than other people understand my brain.
Really? So you understand all the parts of your brain and how they all relate to each other?
I have an understanding
you
of my
know
own
the amount of gray matter located in your brain and how that helps you communicate? You understand that?
Do you?
No, that's the point. Fuck. Exactly. Right. So
we're getting
again,
to insulting
AG
people.
might not stop talking. Actually, thank you.
Then why do you have to take
AG is not, because people like you are incompetent on purpose, and that's the issue. Okay. So AG might have not had the answer to that question. Right. And so what you would have done is would have remained ignorant. And my point is this, chat, right, is that this man is 20 years old. And there is no fucking way that AG is and first of all, people already told me in the chat they know who you are, right? You frequent these spaces a lot. AG is not the first lesbian she's not the first lesbian you've ever spoken to. She's not the first queer person you've ever spoken to. She's not even the first queer person you've ever heard of. You've had these conversations before. You are choosing to be this way.
I have not had these conversations before.
Do you think that I should have to explain the interest? I can't say the fucking word. Do you think that do you think that I should have to explain all of this to you, or do you think that you should go and look this up for yourself?
I should look it up for myself, and I have stuff that I'm looking up right now, but I also understand that people on an individual level have understandings of themselves. And so that's what I'm really trying to understand.
You could also watch those videos, but like you're on a debate platform doing this. That's why it's disingenuous. You're on a debate platform that literally the question is, why is being lesbian wrong? And then you just have questions for me, which are the most basic questions. That would be like, but the issue at hand here is, again, what we've been saying is like the weaponized incompetence. You know you have limited time up here. If you want to do the research, you have plenty of fucking resources. You don't need to ask me on a debate platform my life story.
I wasn't asking your life story.
You were.
I was just asking what your experience would be with in particular reference to your sexuality.
Okay.
Anyway. Okay, but do you need to know that, do you need to know that? What does that help you do? Does that help?
With that question, if you did any research prior, but you said that you didn't. But there's no way you've never spoken to a queer person before. That's my problem.
I'm not saying I have, but
There's no right. So that you've asked other people this question before. You have the answer, and you're coming up here acting like you're dumb, and you're not.
All right, we're gonna move on to somebody who wants to debate. Dalty, I think that it's really important that we don't take. First of all, this is a debate platform, so I think that Like, if you are genuinely curious, you shouldn't go on a debate platform to learn something. I wouldn't go into a black space and take over a black space and ask questions. That's very unfair. You should go, and especially or like misogyny live. If you're a man, you're think that you are misogynist because you're born into that shit. Then you should take the time out and learn on your own instead of taking over women's spaces, black spaces, LGBTQ spaces, coming into those spaces and then taking advantage of those people rather than doing your own research. Because that's very lazy. You shouldn't.
That's
do that.
my issue.
You shouldn't
It's
do that.
incredibly lazy. I just don't like incompetent people. Like, that's like my biggest pet peeve. Like, I just can't do it.
What's up? How old are you?
Hello, I'm 24.
All right. Do you think being lesbian is wrong?
Yeah.
How come?
So I believe in God, and I don't think that God approves of LGBT.
Okay. What religion are you?
I'm Muslim.
Was Aisha?
Sorry?
How old was Aisha?
I don't know.
She was 6 years old. When was she consummated?
No, she wasn't.
She was. When was she? What? How are you gonna say no? She was. You just said you don't know.
She had a baby. How can you have a baby at 6?
The youngest person to give birth was 6 years old.
No, it wasn't. Who was it?
I don't know her name, but I believe she's still alive.
Actually, I don't want to go this route. Can you prove that God is real so that your morals stand?
Can I prove that God is real?
Yeah. Can you prove God is real so that your morals stand?
Me personally, I can't prove that God is real, no.
Okay, so then your morals go out the door. If you can't prove that your God exists, then your God doesn't have morals, therefore you have no morals, and then you just have to justify why you think being lesbian is wrong.
Okay, so let's not speak about religion then.
Okay.
If we were to speak about it logically, yeah, it doesn't make sense. There's no point in being JY or lesbian.
No point. Okay, so is there no point to love?
No, there is.
Okay, so what is the point of a relationship?
The point of a relationship is to grow, progress, and reproduce.
No, that's subjective. So everybody is going to have a subjective purpose to their relationship. Some people like to have sex. Some people like to reproduce. Some people want love and companionship for life. Most people want love, companionship for life. And then some people want to have kids on top of that. Not everybody wants to have kids. So, purpose is subjective to each person. I bet you'd agree that you don't think everybody should be a parent, and that would prove my point. And so whenever we're talking about like there's no point in being gay or being a lesbian, that's just absurd, and I don't even know how you could make that claim.
Because in reality, our purpose is to reproduce. So even
who gives that purpose?
Apart from God, biology, innit?
So what? So great. So biology. So name me a biologist. Name me a science that has morals tied to it.
None.
Cool. So biology doesn't have purpose, it has functions. You are applying purpose to something to everybody that everybody should reproduce. Should Jeffrey Dahmer have kids?
No.
Okay. So then why do you uphold this? Not everybody should be a parent.
Not everybody, no.
Okay, so then you don't even uphold this. You don't uphold this. Like, your logic is not consistent. Therefore, you should drop it, and you don't even uphold to this.
But there's no point in liking the same sex.
There is a point. The point
it's
is
love and
liking the same
companionship.
sex.
And also, by the way, we can have kids the same way that a straight and fertile couple can have kids. It's just that's subjective if that person wants to have children. It's also very expensive. So, again.
Is it wrong to not want to have children?
No, I don't.
Okay, so then why is being lesbian wrong then?
Because okay, let's take it in the context of having children. If they do want
don't take it back to you don't care. We just went over this. You don't give a fuck.
But a child needs a mom and a dad.
No, they don't. What scientist says that? What psychologist says that?
Yeah, so give me a study that says that you need a mother and a father in a home, because I can give you studies that say the opposite.
Literally.
The opposite.
Yes, that you don't need a mother and a father in a home.
Every single study simply says that a child needs two parents. That's parents don't even have to be fucking married.
That's absurd.
It's not absurd. Marriage isn't fucking real. Do you think humans in all of human history were marrying each other? No.
No, but what do you mean?
Marriage is a tax incentive. It's not a real thing that humans do. It's not like a naturally occurring thing.
It's not natural, no, but it's the right thing to do.
Why is it the right thing to do?
Because why would it not?
Marriage is the right thing to do?
You can just say that it's amoral. It's not good or bad to get married. It just is, right? But marriage is a tax thing. It's a money thing.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
It's a construct. Marriage is a social construct.
No, that's crazy.
Right. It works as both a symbol and a tax incentive. It's a symbol of commitment and a tax incentive.
Yes, but having kids outside of marriage is crazy.
No, it's not.
Crazy.
Marriage is not a thing in every single culture.
Define crazy.
Unhealthy.
Unhealthy
Crazy
for
is
who?
unhealthy?
For the kids. No,
Why would it be unhealthy for the kids? Marriage isn't a real thing.
What do you mean it's not real?
It's not a real thing that humans have always done. It's not a natural. Like, how do you think prehistoric humans were dealing with their children? Were those children unhealthy?
You do realize that like old
So they weren't
like
unhealthy? Wait a minute. She just said no.
Yeah, I said they were not married.
Okay, so then prehistoric children, right? Were they unhealthy?
Yes.
Really?
The dynamics were unhealthy, yeah.
How were
Prove
they
that.
unhealthy?
Prove that.
Yeah, where are you getting that from?
Where are you just that's off the top of your dome? Is that off the top of your dome?
No, from history and from what I know.
What
Okay,
history?
so what history?
If you look at the history of how family structure was before and how it is now, there's a huge difference.
Nah, really? Who would have thought?
Yeah, we're
Exactly.
That's not what we
just
asked.
because something is different doesn't mean that it's bad.
Yeah, that doesn't.
You said that it's
bad way.
insane. So like we're
You said
asking
it's
you how
crazy, so-
yeah, like so how is it bad? How were prehistoric children not like okay?
Because there was no family structure.
There was a family structure.
There
wasn't
was.
marriage.
In fact, if you actually knew the history, what happened was the men would go off and gather shit, and all of the women in the like, what do you call it, the civilization,
Whatever
or
village
the town,
or
the village, all of the women would get together and take care of all of the
You know what
children.
they
had
actually-
several fucking parents.
Actually, AG, there's several theories as to how prehistoric humans would construct themselves. Actually, they actually made an argument that like a lot of time when women gave birth, that they would die, like a lot. And a lot of time there would not be enough mothers to take care for the amount of babies that were present. So a lot of the time it was the men. It was an entirety of a community thing to take care of all of the babies. There was no construct of marriage. It was a village thing.
Exactly. And
Everyone, that is a structure. And it is a structure that worked because we are here now.
No, but it wasn't that good, was it?
Prove it. Prove that it wasn't good.
We're talking to each other.
Prove that it. So where are you getting that? Where are you getting that?
Aaliyah, we are the proof that it worked, Aaliyah.
No, but wait.
Survival of the fittest.
We needed multiple mothers. That shouldn't be the case.
That's just how it was.
That's how humans behave.
Well,
that's how
first
other
of all,
animals behave.
but that's just how it was.
That's how fucking penguins behave. That's how like a lot of lions behave. When you give them like other babies,
they work in packs.
Take care of them.
They work in packs. Now we work in two to one. One person takes care of the nuclear family's bullshit. One in 4 households don't have a fucking father. That's fucking absurd.
That I didn't, but that's not the point. Because I didn't have a father, and look, like it's not good. It wasn't good.
Yes, for you because your dad.
Right.
Because just because you didn't have a dad, what we're saying is you need 2 parents. Doesn't matter what gender they are. You're making the claim you need a mother and a father. You have to back that claim up. We're saying you need 2 parents. The studies show it doesn't matter what gender they are. You just need 2 parents. Grandpa, grandma. It doesn't matter.
Hell, it could be your mom and her fucking sister, bro. They don't even have to be in like a romantic relationship. You just need 2 parental figures.
But a mom cannot perform the duties that a dad can.
Name one thing they can't do.
I don't know.
What the fuck is going on right now?
Okay.
Are you serious right now?
No, question. So are you saying that a man can fulfill the same things that a woman can and vice versa?
Yes. Name one thing they cannot do. Name one thing a man cannot do compared to a woman that they can't teach their children.
No, they can do everything, but it's not the same.
Okay, so then what is the issue?
It's not the same.
It is literally the fucking same.
But women and men are not equal.
What are you talking about?
Oh no!
Reality.
What do you mean by that?
What do you mean equal?
What do you mean by that?
What do you mean equal? Like, of course, men and women are not exactly the same. Yeah, they're more alike than they are different.
But there's still no equality.
Yeah. So what psychologically, what can a man teach their child that a woman cannot?
If the man has a son, He can teach him how to be a man.
Okay,
What
and
does
how
it mean to
and
be
what
a
does
man?
it, yeah,
What are
what
you
does it mean to
talking
be a
about?
man?
A woman
And how
can't
can a mother not teach that?
Also,
Because you know
are
what
talking about
what men are teaching them though, that it's okay to sexualize women. That's why our grape fucking rates are insane. That women are less than them. They
They are
make jokes.
property.
Yeah. What's the saying? Let boys be boys.
Also, you're talking about the Western definition of a man, the prehistoric definition of a man.
The real definition of a
Are you
man.
talking about the Western definition, the Eastern definition? What definition of man are you talking about?
The real man.
Do you think it makes more sense to teach them like what does it mean to be a man? What do you see in men that you do not see in women?
What it means to be a man is to be manly, strong, take care of the household.
So women don't do that?
Be the breadwinner. No, you can do
Women
that.
aren't-
It's not your role.
Says who?
Where are you getting this from?
Says who?
Prehistoric women did this all the time. The concept of the nuclear family is a recent development within human society.
They shouldn't have to do that.
What are you talking? You're making these positive claims, and you're not having any kind of like.
You have a lot of internalized misogyny.
You're just, like, why can't things be other ways? Where are you getting this from?
It's not misogyny. It's facts.
No, it's not. You're not basing it off of anything. There's literally no.
You're
source
just making
the
the claim.
Okay, my claim is a woman cannot do the same things a man can. A man
Okay,
can.
and name them.
Name one.
Name one
thing.
In a parent household, name something that a man can do that a woman can't do.
Can a man teach his daughter like how to put on a pad?
What?
Can a man teach his daughter how to put on a pad?
Oh, I
got
got
a restriction or something.
Yeah, you got. I got to remove you because you got a restriction.
Oh my god, fucking ridiculous.
You got a restriction.
Are you gonna restart?
It went away when I got rid of her, but I don't know.
Oh, you got the with the big red button.
Yeah, it said that
it's
she
fine.
got a restriction.
Oh no,
but I don't know.
you're fine. No, you're fine.
How do I check if I still have it? If it was a restriction on me, should it still be up here?
The little green thing, and then you click that, and then it will show you. But if there's nothing there, you don't have a restriction, or at least I didn't tell you. So
it said, okay, ended. The restriction ended. Does that mean
okay, go? Yeah, you're fine.
Okay.
I don't understand people.
Yeah, it said she because Elia does not comply with our community guidelines.
Yeah, she's
Okay, yeah, it said they are disconnected. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Moving on. If you think being lesbian is wrong, click the guest cross to debate.
Hey y'all, I'm 22. I just wanted to say, first of all, it's a lot of people in these comments saying that men can't be raised by single women when it's a lot of people, it's a lot of men out there that are raised by single mothers. Obama was raised by a single mother. It's a lot of people out there that actually probably are better raised by a single mother than they are raised by a man, because that woman teaches them that how to be a gentleman while
One second, Maya. I might have to disagree with you on that part. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm sorry. I just wanted to come up here and say that.
I'm just saying.
There was a
I
lot of
understand. I
people
appreciate
in the comments saying it, and it was getting on my last nerve.
I think it's because we respect single mothers a lot. I think that's the thing. It's like we understand how hard it is for those single mothers to do both jobs of the parents, and they fucking kick ass at it.
Like it's so many. I don't want to say like deadbeat, but it's so many men out there that
1
don't
in
even
4
wanna be
households, bro.
fathers.
Maya, 1 in 4 households don't have a dad. Period. That is a wild statistic. That is
it's so
billions of children.
I think it's crazy though because like they keep making it a woman issue.
Yeah.
There's a common denominator here. But yeah, we are looking for debates though.
Okay,
I appreciate you, Maya.
Go
Take
ahead
it
and
easy,
drop
okay?
me. I just wanted to say that because it was so many men in the comments saying that men can't be raised by women, and I'm like, it's so many men out there that are raised by single women, and they grew up
Or
to be the
lesbian
most
parents. I talked to a lot of men that are raised by lesbian parents.
Like it's so many. Like my best friend, he has both parents in his life, but I think he was majority raised with his mom, and he is so respectful. He is so nice. Yet he also has, he also knows how to be a man at the end of the day. Like he's not gonna
Because you can't teach. Yeah, there's they
and
can
everything
teach
like
themselves.
that.
All right.
I appreciate you. Take it easy, okay?
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, there's no such thing as being a man. If you are a man, then you are being a man.
All right. If you are watching, you think that being lesbian is wrong, click the guest cross to debate. Y'all be nice. She was sweet. You got to understand when you got a single mother raising you that there's always going to be a fire in you about that.
I think it really goes a lot of ways. I think a lot of single mothers. I'll go. Hi. How old are you?
I'm 19.
Wait, you're reborn?
I was born in 2005.
Okay. Do you think being lesbian is wrong?
Not particularly being lesbian, but I think that the things that are being taught to children is wrong, because that is a thing for you to find out. If
Okay,
I,
cool.
as a
So
man,
you
for
think
example,
that should we strip all heterosexual couples from Disney movies?
no.
Okay, so then why the fuck do you care if a lesbian couple is being taught but a heterosexual couple?
Wait, do you think sex education is wrong?
I do not really have an opinion on that, but can I just finish my argument?
You should have an opinion on it. Why don't you have an opinion on why sex education is wrong or right?
Because I do not really. There are more important things than.
That is what you're talking about, Zift. That's literally what you're talking about.
No, I am talking about kids being taught that in school.
A lot of that is sex education.
Yeah,
sex education is not just learning about sex. It's about learning about consent. It's about learning about different family dynamics. It's about learning about stop talking, please. Please stop talking. Please stop talking. It's about learning about how humans interact with each other beyond just speaking.
I am talking about identity. I'm leaving.
That would also fall into sex education.
Yeah, I'm not talking about. I'm just talking.
How do you
about
think that people find this stuff out unless we teach them, right?
Through.
So how do you think that men know what misogyny is, so they stop being fucking misogynistic unless we teach it to them? How do we know? How do we teach people about racism without fucking teaching them about racism? So what happens is what you're saying is keep it out of the school systems so that we can keep the oppression that's happening against our community.
What's oppression?
Which oppression?
The oppression against against the LGBTQ community.
I live in Germany. Let me give you one prime example. Germany, one of the most liberal countries in the world. Everybody here has.
I don't see where you're getting that from.
The Constitution says, the primal law says, the dignity of a person is untouchable, unchangeable, and unaffectable.
Okay, our Constitution says that as well, motherfucker. It still doesn't translate into law.
Wait, let me speak. Every single constitution in the world, democratic constitution, says that. So why do you feel oppressed? If the law says that, then why do you feel oppressed? There are always people who are against that. Who are against?
Are you serious?
LGBTQ, who are against
because the Constitution because
there are people against it doesn't mean.
I heard you the first time. Because the Constitution is only as powerful for as much as people perceive it to be. The Constitution is only as powerful based upon how people decipher its words. And so if the way in which they decipher these words do not apply to certain types of people, then the law will reflect that. And also, not every law goes explicitly against the Constitution. As long as there can be an argument made that this is constitutional, then it would be constitutional. As long as it is not explicit, as long as a law does not explicitly say this type of person cannot do this, then it wouldn't be unconstitutional based off of the interpretation of the Constitution. The Constitution is only as powerful as it is interpreted to be. It doesn't save people.
I don't think that the Constitution...
Did the Constitution exist when Jewish people were in Germany, Zift?
There was always a Constitution, yes.
Damn, that's so crazy. So why didn't it apply to them?
Because it was not a democratic Constitution.
Damn.
Yeah. Can I just continue my...
So the Constitution did not exist during Nazi Germany?
I said yes, it did exist, but it was
then what
not
are you
a
talking
democratic
about?
Constitution. It was
but the Constitution is above law, and it's above government, right? So why does it matter?
But do you know the difference between fascism and Nazi?
You don't care though. You don't care about this.
So if you don't care, then you
don't care about this, because that means you have the answer to the question of which you're asking here.
Yeah, but
right?
If you know the difference, then you would also know that in fascism or in a dictatorial state, a man is above law, a man is above constitution, and he decides what is right and wrong, and he rewrites constitution and he rewrites laws.
Doesn't that sound familiar, guys?
So that makes
just real quick, you were also completely wrong about the institution, about our Grundgesetz. It was not in.
Oh God, this is the first time I've heard Tina speak. Oh my
goodness.
Hey.
So yeah, you're spreading a lot of shit right now. Also.
Das Grundgesetz sagt, die Würde des Menschen ist unantastbar.
Tina, are you also German?
Yeah.
German.
As German as they come, girl. Unfortunately. But so how do you explain then if people of the LGBTQ community are not discriminated against here? Why, as of last year, gay men, LGBTQ people and trans as well, men were allowed to donate blood? As of last year.
Were allowed or were not?
We are, men are allowed now. Like, since March 2023?
Kannst du bitte das auf Deutsch sagen, damit ich es besser verstehe?
Seit letztem Jahr sind Männer, die in gleichgeschlechtlichen Beziehungen leben.
So glad I took German in high school.
Seit letztem Jahr ist es erst erlaubt, Blut zu spenden. Also
ja,
ist das für dich sehr gleichgestellt, dass es erst seit letztem Jahr möglich ist, oder?
Aaron, get fucked.
Es gibt eine Sache, die nennt sich gesellschaftliche Entwicklung, und diese gesellschaftliche Entwicklung fand statt letztes Jahr, und ja, ich finde es ganz gut, dass es passieren darf, und es passiert. Es gibt immer eine Entwicklung in der Gesellschaft. Jedes Jahr.
Findest du es nicht ein bisschen spät?
Spät oder nicht?
That in 2023 people are allowed now.
Hey, y'all stop saying speak American, because she's trying to get him to understand.
No, like this is
y'all stop fucking saying that shit before I block you. Like, she's trying to get him to understand. I don't care what fucking language she speaks. That's her native language. She's from Germany. Don't be fucking rude. Anyways, sorry, Tina. Keep going.
Thank you. Basically, it was about him saying, yeah, it's like good that the changes applied now, but my point is, isn't it a bit late? Because he also called Germany one of the most progressive and most liberal countries, if I'm not mistaken right now. So that doesn't sound too progressive to me. If
just recently within the last year they allowed the LGBTQ men to be able to donate blood, that's not very progressive. The last year,
yeah.
Still, they have over there.
Also, we don't have like the same sex marriage. It's considered gleichgeschlechtliche Partnerschaft, so it's not technically a marriage. It's like a
separate thing.
Partnership.
You don't get like benefits. The benefits are different.
I'm not fully sure about that, but I think there are limitations. It's not the same. It's not legally seen as the same.
Oh, so like an American version would be like a civil union? Okay.
I can say something on that. There are no cuts on the same-sex marriage or partnership.
I don't know about that. You also were wrong about our Grundgesetz, our institution. So I'm not fully sure if I just take your word for it. So
what did I say wrong about it? I said the
you said it was an action during World War II, which is false.
What?
You said that the Grundgesetz was an action already during World War II.
I did not say it was an action, but the definition of a constitution did exist in World War II. Because do you know about the Golden 20s before Adolf Hitler came to power? That was the shortest, a short period of time where Republic Germany was a thing, and it was very similar to democracy, and they had a constitution back there, yes, again. But in 1933, when Adolf Hitler came to power, he radicalized the whole thing, and he just did his thing, and then war broke out. So, but it's not important. It's irrelevant to the topic now. I'm just saying that the Grundgesetz says that the dignity of a person is untouchable, unchangeable, and every single person, let it be a man, a LGBTQ community, a person from the LGBT community, a trans person, let it be a furry. I don't care. It can be anyone. Everyone has the same rights. Everyone has the same
That's
rights.
clearly not true.
That's not true.
Yeah,
They're separate.
You even have a separate but equal type policy that doesn't help anyone.
No, every
Why are they not allowed to get married in your country?
Every single
That's the issue.
every single
You
lesbian can
go by what is law, by what is on paper. But we know that just because it's written out, it doesn't apply to a lot of people, to marginalized groups. You should know that. I don't know if you are a German, if you are...
ich bin Ausländer, aber...
yeah, so you should know as a foreigner or the child of migrants, of immigrants, you should know, you know, that it's not equal, that you are not treated equal in a lot of spaces based on your background.
Yes, that is understandable. Discrimination does not happen only amongst LGBTQ community members.
Exactly. So now imagine you are a foreigner, right? Now imagine you also would be queer. Now imagine how you would be viewed in society now. You would be even, you know, less privileged.
And I don't really think so. It depends on how.
This is not a thinking matter, baby. This is a factual matter.
You can't get equally married. You can't get equally married. Like, how are you arguing with this?
My thing is this: do you think the queer people in Germany are lying?
Can I just finish? How does
you weren't talking?
How is it relevant that you can marry or not marry as a same sex?
Because they do not call it a marriage. They don't call it a marriage. That is called.
If you want to look it up, it's eingetragene Partnerschaft. So it is not equal.
You do not.
Right. So in America, we call that like separate but equal. That was used to still segregate people. That is segregation.
Mm-hmm.
You do not get any less rights by saying it's a same sex partnership.
Well, the right to marriage.
Why are you calling it a partnership? It is a marriage.
Because that's how it's written in the
yes. So why can't why is it separate? Why can't they get equally married like a straight couple?
Because the whole society we live in.
You should talk about the church and how it's involved in the lawmaking.
I will address that.
Mm-hmm.
The whole society we live in, the whole thing, how it works, this whole structure is based in one thing: the traditional family, and those values, even the democratic laws, the constitution, the basic laws are based on Christian laws, Christian morals, on the Christian church. So that is one of the reasons why it cannot be called a marriage. And the second reason, my second argument is, I do not know.
So then they're not equal then.
No, where I live, ich wohne in Nähe Frankfurt. Ich weiß nicht, ob du noch in Deutschland lebst oder in Amerika.
Ja, Nähe Berlin.
Ja, ich wohne in Berlin, da ist es noch besser.
Nähe Berlin. Ich bin in einem 400 Einwohnerdorf aufgewachsen. Also ich weiß, wie kleingeistig Menschen sein können.
Ja, das weiß ich auch. Ich komme aus einem sehr kleinen Dorf aus Albanien, bin vor 2 Jahren nach Deutschland hergezogen und ich weiß, wie es ist, diese gesellschaftlichen Wechsel zu sehen und was es heißt, diskriminiert zu werden und was es auch heißt, also ich kenne das, ich kenne mich da aus, ich habe nichts gegen, ich bin gegen Diskriminierung, aber
Just real quick, someone said Berlin is a major city, that's correct, but I also said that I live close to it, that I grew up in a 400 people village, so I was exposed to very conservative people.
Yeah, but Berlin and Frankfurt are prime examples on how a liberal country should work, because Berlin is one of the most liberal cities in Germany. People, if you go there, you see all types of people. No one has anything. No one attacks you in the middle of the street.
No, that's false. LGBTQ people get attacked in major cities as well, especially right now. You probably noticed because of the conflict in the Middle East that Jewish people also, endure a lot of violence right now. Is also in major cities. And now imagine if you're both, if you are...
Sweden is like the head of like all of these studies. You can go and look, especially if you're in Europe, you can go and look at these studies. Sweden's like at the head of a lot of these LGBTQ studies right now. So if you want to go look at the crime statistics against this community, it's not hard.
I am telling you, I'm not saying it's right to do that. I'm not saying it's something.
I'm saying you're saying that we're not oppressed.
It would be very,
but you're saying we're not oppressed. Tina is telling you, first of all, the separate but equal, that's absurd. Like the fact that you can't even acknowledge that and that's wrong.
I just asked him, like, does he think the queer people in Germany are lying?
Or what?
Do you think they're lying?
Lying about what?
About their oppression. About the riots.
I'm not saying they are not being violated or not being attacked.
Right, but we just gave you
law,
we gave you two examples. We gave you two examples of
by law. Okay, by law. By law, they're not being violated.
No, but they are though. We just gave two examples of how they are.
But if just because you call you say same-sex partnership does not mean you are being oppressed or having
that is a type of oppression. That is called segregation.
But what does it change in your life?
Because it is segregated.
It's completely different. You don't get the same rights as being married. Sorry,
maybe a different approach would help him to understand. Maybe let's imagine.
I am an immigrant. I should know better than anyone what it means to be oppressed or excluded from society.
So try to apply that empathy that you have for yourself to others.
Yeah, I do not have any empathy because I never experienced any discrimination as an immigrant.
Oh,
I live in society. I live in a small city near Frankfurt.
Tina was telling you to imagine yourself as a queer person on top of being what they called you a foreigner.
But he's a white man, though. Doesn't matter if he's an immigrant.
He's from, what was it again?
I'm Albanian.
Albanian, yeah.
Do they peep that in Germany?
Yeah,
Europe
depends where you're from, but here they pick you if you are a little bit darker than me, and I'm like the palest is pale.
But he's clearly a white man, though.
By U.S. standards, I agree.
Is it different over there?
Yes, in Europe, they can tell you. In Europe, they can tell you exactly where you're from. They can tell, like, if you're from Germany, if you're from like Italy. They really do tell like what part you're from.
That's really funny. I'm not gonna lie.
My grandpa.
I got new racism over there. That's crazy.
Well, yeah, it's just different. I guess I don't know. It's interesting. I've watched a lot of Dutch people that are from the Netherlands, and they really see. Like
ideology, right? During World War II, that every German has to have like blue eyes and blonde hair.
It's the Aryan race.
Yeah, so when my grandpa would refer to black people, I was like legit thinking that he was speaking about like African descendant people, but he was talking about like dark hair and dark eyes, so people like me and my grandma. So we would be considered black. In our little ass village, so yeah.
By God. Y'all got new racism over there?
They see color in like a totally different way. Like we're in the United States, like all we see is like white. No, they can tell exactly where you're from.
That's fucking crazy. Racism XL. Damn, that's fucking.
Yeah, that is not something
racism
for ages, for centuries. You can date it back to medieval times, and that has always been this social.
Okay, I feel like we're going a bit in a circle. Zift. But is there anything else you wanted to say? And Tina, I appreciate you so much.
Thank you. I appreciate you too.
Me as an immigrant, I should know better than anyone what it means to be excluded. I have experienced racism.
That doesn't mean you understand the queer experience, though.
But wait. I have had many times where people have tried to be disrespectful or even have physically tried to attack me.
That's horrible. That happened to you. And that's horrible.
But didn't
what
you
we're trying to get you to see is that happens.
Real quick, didn't you just say that you have never experienced racism or discrimination based on your?
Yes, which one is it?
I should be. Wait, let me explain because my vocabulary is not very rich. I'm sorry, but
no, it's okay.
It's an expression thing. What I'm trying to say is I have.
Are you saying in the law you haven't experienced it?
No, people in the city I live in. It's a very small town, and it's filled with.
Somebody tried to press you.
Wait, it's filled with natives, and I had one encounter with an older gentleman who was openly racist towards me and even pushed me because of it.
I'm sorry, man.
No, it's okay. I don't really.
It's not okay, and it's not okay, and that's okay.
I don't really. Everybody has their own opinions, and I respect that, even though it's wrong.
You don't have to respect disrespect.
I do know that I do know my rights, so I can take legal action, and legal action was taken. So I think that the law is functioning perfectly now.
But do you think that it's
perfectly
fair?
is, you know, it's a bold statement.
Perfectly is a bit exaggerated because no law.
Exactly.
Yeah, but I live. My social circle is pretty big, I would say, and most of them are native Germans, and none of them, not one single one of them, is openly racist towards me.
Are there a lot of queer people in your circle?
Yes, I also have gay friends and lesbian friends, and I even know trans.
They are actual friends. Like, can you go to them right now and ask them about their experiences?
Oh yes, of course.
For you to do that, before you continue the conversation.
And I have one friend. His name is I don't know. I'm not just saying the name. I'm sorry.
You don't have to say his name. We believe you.
He's an LGBTQ community member. He's gay, to be exact, and he's treated just as we would treat a normal person.
Right, but by you guys, and I'm happy that you provided him with that safe space.
Yeah,
but I would say you need to be able to judge a person's experiences like beyond how you treat them, because you might treat him normally for sure, but you don't know about his parents, you don't know about his other friends beyond you, you don't know about his work, you don't even know about his legal history, right? So I would say, before you continue this conversation, to like go and speak to your friends who are part of the community and maybe learn from a more specific, you know.
Oh, we've talked about that multiple times. He has never once said that he has had any.
Have you asked him?
Yes.
Also, have you considered that he might not be comfortable talking about that with you, since you are not a part of the group?
I have cleared that question. I asked him if he's okay with it. I would like to talk about it, or do you want to talk about this? That's the question I asked in the beginning, not only with him, but with other people.
Also, not to hate on men, but we know that friendships between men presenting cis men, you know, it's a little different, that your emotional intelligence often is a little lackey, and y'all don't really speak about those things as deeply, because, you know, men have to be tough, men have to be this and that. So, you know, you also have to consider that he might not feel safe enough, or that, you know, the energy is just different.
Or he doesn't want to express oppression, like come off as weak.
I come from a strict Catholic family, and my father, he's a very stoic man, very masculine, traditionally masculine man, and my mother is just as traditional. But I've been taught over the years to actually try and understand where people come from. So.
That's a good start, you know. You did evolve, as you tell us now. So I think there is room for improvement always, period. So
there is always room for improvement, but the thing I'm trying to say is, it's not about the individual people. It's about where it's the core of everything is family. If the right values are taught in families, then a society can function normally. So I don't know how to put it in words.
We could unpack that too, because I don't believe that this is the center for every person, that family is the center for everyone. I think this also is based on your upbringing or your surrounding, that this is a value for you, but, you know, building or you know, creating a family is not necessarily
for everybody.
You know, exactly.
No, it's not about creating the family, but to the basis of our opinion comes the values we have as a person come from the family, and when we exit that family, when we grow up and move on our own, we evolve and we learn from society and societal norms. And if every single family would teach the right values like respect and acceptance, then things like social exclusion or racism or hate towards minorities would not be a thing. But
unfortunately, we don't live in a
it's unfortunate.
Yeah, but you know, maybe
maybe
you can learn, maybe you can grow, you know, that's my toxic trait. I always see the good in men. So maybe you can learn a little bit and you can educate yourself more on a neutral term, you know, that you don't necessarily think them against us, or that reproduction is the force and it has to be, because not everyone needs to have a baby. Let's be real.
Yeah. And I don't have anything against them. I am Catholic Christian. I am a religious man. So how I imagine it, what I want is a family and to raise a kid, but
and that's lovely for you, and I hope you achieve that.
Yes.
But you have to accept that that's not for everyone.
Yes. It's what I tried to say. Just now, what I think is what I want is not what everybody should want. Everyone can do what as they want, but it should not be rubbed on people's faces. And that's what
when does that happen? I think I heard you before saying that this is or was another guest, because all of you have similar talking points, that it's forced on kids, especially that being queer is forced on kids. Where do you see that?
I am a volunteer in a primary school and Mittelschule, also 5. Klasse bis 7. Klasse.
Okay.
And in that school, I took part in a gathering, and it was a transsexual woman, it was a gay man, a homosexual man, and an immigrant, and they were all sharing their experiences. And what I heard. Wait. And then what I heard, what caught my ear was that they were telling children in 5th grade and 7th grade to be like them. It's straight up be like us.
Do you think?
So,
I very much doubt that they were doing that.
Oh, I'm talking from experience. Why
would they say to be like them? In what way?
It was like
how do you be an immigrant?
Wait, let me
like what?
Boot camp style.
The transsexual woman was, when she was talking, I will say the words as she said it translated. She said, being transsexual is great, so I would want every single one of you to have this experience, be like me. That's what she said. That is the words that she stated. She said, being a
having a happy experience?
She said being a transsexual woman is great. I want everybody to be like me and to be transsexual as well. So that is kind of forcing it onto kids.
She said she wants everyone to be transgender and also be transgender? Yes. Why would she say that? What's the point there?
I do not know. I'm not her. I'm not in her head. So
is there a possibility you heard her incorrectly?
Is there a possibility she was saying?
No, I'm pretty sure I heard her right, because
was there a possibility that she said that she's happy being a transgender woman and she wants all the other kids to be comfortable and happy with themselves?
No. I was in front
literally,
of
because Zift, that's literally impossible. That's why we're questioning it. It is impossible for everyone to be transgender.
Also, it's like really against the entire LGBTQ community. It's like agenda like that we have is like we don't want anybody to be anything other than what they are, and what we want is a safe space. And so if you feel that you have gender dysphoria or that you are trans, that you can be safe and happy in doing that.
And let's cut him some slack, right? Let's imagine that happened. Do you think that this will change the reality of the children? Because by that ideology, queer people wouldn't exist, because parents, the conservative ones, would usually
I wouldn't be a lesbian if that was the case, because my mom literally told me that.
Do you think AG would be queer by that mindset, by that,
I grew up in a super Christian, I grew up in a super religious conservative household that my mom literally took me to churches to pray the gay away and put me in a Christian private school when she found out that I was dating a girl. So by your ideology, her pushing that I have to be with a man, by what you're saying, I would not be a lesbian.
What I'm trying to say is making kids think about stuff they cannot comprehend is wrong.
So they can comprehend it.
They can comprehend
it. There are trans children. There are queer children.
Can I just say something on that? Ages 1 to 5 years old is the time when you learn about family. The first people.
It's also the time in which you. It is also
wait.
the time. Wait 1 second, Zip. It is also the time in which you like develop a sense of self.
And
sense of
your
self,
gender develops between
yeah.
the ages of 3 and 7.
Yeah. So.
Wait. Can I just finish? And that is the time.
A lot of things happen.
Wait, that is a time where you meet the first people in your life. Let it be your mother, your
You've
father,
already met the first
your
people in your
sister. Wait, that is the first people you meet in your life. That from the ages 1 to 5. After that is when you start meeting external family members like cousins and friends from maybe kindergarten and school.
What?
And then you start developing.
Why are you describing childhood in such a linear sense?
Do you like Ziff? Do you like when you meet other immigrants that share your story? If you could, I know you live in a small village or a small town, but would that help you to meet other
Not
people?
really. Frankfurt is like quite big, to be honest. So
I live near Frankfurt, not near Frankfurt.
I don't know what European big means.
It's not big like U.S. Like I mean, I live in a very big state. You drive 3 hours and you're still in the same.
Wait, but when
state.
you guys say big, when we say big, very different.
Yeah, because in Germany you can drive 3 hours, you'll be out of the
size.
country.
Yeah, in a big city there live about 1.2 million, 1,700,000 people.
Yeah, that's small for us. That's extremely small.
Yeah.
I
I
don't think people really understand how big the United States is. There are states where you have to take planes.
Yes, we
from
do
one side to the
understand
other.
how big the United.
I mean, the city, like the small
also
city that I
generalize
live in, there's 1.3 million people in here. But
There's 4 million in mine.
oh really?
I live in Philly.
Yeah.
Boya, can I just and that's like in a sense when you are a kid you just start meeting the first people in your life.
Yeah, so if it doesn't apply to you, Zift, I think the issue here is that you think that if you were taught this, that somehow you're going to become this. That's not how that works. If you don't have gender dysphoria, I was taught what transgender was at the age of like 7 by my grandma. And that didn't make me question anything because it didn't apply to me. So I didn't feel that way. And so what that woman was doing was, if you feel, in my opinion, I wasn't there, I'll just have to take your word for it. I wish that we had more representation for children that felt this way, so that they don't have to go years of their life feeling like an outcast, feeling disgusting, feeling like something is wrong with them, especially in Germany, where it's the marriage part is separate, whereas you don't even have equal marriage rights. You have a completely separate marriage right.
I was trying to address that with the childhood part. As a kid, if I, as a kid, point the question to myself, who am I? I am not able to know if I am attracted to a man or a woman or even a dog.
You literally are, though. Unironically, you are.
If it's right or wrong, you
might not be able to determine whether or not it's right or wrong, but you will very much be able to determine what you're attracted to.
Can I just finish what I was trying to say?
But Zit, you're already wrong on the first half.
No, but I can. If I finish, then maybe you understand what I'm trying to say. I am able to point that question to myself, and I am not able to determine if it's right or wrong, and I'm not also able to determine who I am. I am not able to answer that question. That question comes. It might.
What do you mean by who you are?
Wait,
I think he means applying morals and applying certain moral standards to it, I guess.
Wait, are you trained or able to cite childhood education experts? I don't know what the Kazakh means, but I will try to continue what I'm trying to say. If I, as a person, I will make myself an example. I am a 12-year-old child. I posed a question to myself: do I like men or women? Am I a homosexual or a trans woman? That is a question I cannot answer. That is something I have to find out through experience and not through teaching in school. And through consultation and not.
What experience is required?
But if you didn't know that existed, you'd go your entire life like these adults now that are coming out as transgender because they have a word for it. Not only that, but transgender isn't new. All we're doing is trying to educate on the aspect of that it exists. And if you struggle with gender dysphoria, like some children struggle so bad, Zift, with gender dysphoria that they get UTIs because they don't want to look at their genitalia. This isn't something to like fuck around with or like that we shouldn't be teaching this. This is ridiculous. It's not, children can comprehend a lot more than people act like they can. That's why they're in school. Uh-oh.
What?
Why did you get flagged? Why did you get flagged? You didn't even speak. Here, come back. Come back, Tashika. But you can
always Tashika, man.
But children are a lot smarter than we think they are, and if it doesn't apply to them, kids are very blunt. Kids say what they're thinking. And so if they don't think that they are that, or they don't have this attraction, or they don't here, let me invite you back. Come back. If they don't feel that, then they're not going to like, you're going to know that regardless. But what's wrong with teaching that to people, that this exists? If you have gender dysphoria, then you should seek a doctor. If you have feelings towards a woman and you are a woman, maybe experiment with that so that you can figure out if you are a lesbian, because experimentation doesn't always equal to orientation, but because we live in a heteronormative society, people, especially when we talk about like your home systems where they aren't allowed to be those things, then they go outside of their home and then they can be who they are. But we don't have these education systems set in place, and so because of that, bullying happens, oppression happens, not always on a systematic level, but on like a social level. And so those are the things that I'm talking about when I say that like, we need to be teaching these things to people so that this shit stops.
I do understand what you're trying to say, but the question who I want to be and who I am is a very deep question. No one knows. I am very confused. I am 19. I'm still confused. I'm learning new things. I am trying to learn to be open to new experiences and viewpoints, and I still do not know what I really want in life. So if I were asked this,
okay, but it's not wrong to figure that out, right? But it's not wrong to figure that out. Confusion only happens whenever you set up a set of binaries for people to follow. And so what we're saying is that straight is not the only binary that exists, that people are lesbian, or people have gender dysphoria and they are trans, or some people that are trans don't have gender dysphoria. But you guys want to set up this binary system of living, and that's why there's confusion, because that's not how life works. There is a plethora of different people. We present a different way. Not everybody's the same shape and mold. And so when we create that system of everybody should be this way, yeah, that creates confusion, because people like me, who grew up in a conservative Christian household where I was supposed to be straight, and my parents cried because I couldn't have kids, and I want my daughter to be a pretty woman. You know what I mean? Like, did you get banned, Tashika?
She came with her second.
Did you get banned?
No.
Oh, okay.
Protect the main girl, you know.
Yeah, true though. But I think it's important to stop these heteronormative societies that harm people.
You make a really good point there, AZ. I think people don't understand that the confusion doesn't come from the fact that they're doing something that is confusing. It comes from the fact that the normative standards in society are entirely too rigid for the human experience.
Yes, I totally understand the viewpoint. I am rather traditional.
It's also not teaching. It's more. It's also representation. It's not just teaching. It's just that we all exist in a different way, and that should be represented.
I don't think that the norm heterosexuality and is the thing that is against the LGBTQ, and I don't think that people.
No,
really
that's not what you said.
And I don't really think that people really understand what traditional values and norms are.
No, we do. We do because they're pushed upon us. We do because they're pushed upon us.
But that is what society is based off of. They're called a norm because that is what society is based off of. You call yourself a traditionalist because that is what society was based off of, right?
And that's also what you were taught. And most of us were taught. And then we have to deconstruct that when we're older and go, actually, I don't even abide by this. I don't feel this way. I don't want to have children, or I am not straight, or I am transgender, or
I'm not
the human
monogamous.
experience,
Like,
or I'm not monogamous. Like these human experiences are not black and white. And
Right.
but what these systems have created though is a very black and white. You look this way, you act this way, but that's harmful because it cuts out so many groups of people, including yourself as an immigrant. They want you to look a certain way, and when you come into their space, they harass you. That's absurd. That's disgusting. That shouldn't be there.
What I mean under traditional values is, I stated before, I was born in a strictly Catholic home, strictly religious home, traditional home. I was never taught. No one ever said to me, gay people, homosexual people are have something wrong with it. There's something wrong.
Catholics typically don't, like some Catholics say that, some Catholics don't. So it really just depends.
But you don't need to have that though. The way that society is built, that isn't necessary.
Never once has my mom taught me.
That's great. But that's your experience. That's your experience.
But no, but this doesn't mean anything though, because it doesn't matter. Your family doesn't have to say anything. It is a way that society. You don't only. This is disingenuous, right? Because you don't only learn things from your parents. You learn things from society. You learn things from your teachers. You learn things from the TV. You see things. And if you haven't seen anything, I don't know what the fuck your parents were doing. You're sheltered as fuck. And if you're that sheltered that you can't understand how the outside world and the way that people are being treated and how and you can't even like notice that, you have a lot of ethical blind sides.
That's true, but what I am trying to say is the basis, you get it from the family, and if that basis is wrong, then you start.
I very, very firmly disagree with you should get all of your morals and values and the traditions that you follow from your parents. Absolutely, because that's what starts racism, misogyny, prejudice, because some parents are fucking stupid. Some parents, they uphold oppression. That's why racism still exists, because those parents taught their children to be racist. That's why misogyny exists, because their dads are misogynists. And so then they shove that onto their children. Parents are not the arbitrator of all that's good in the world. That it's just parents are not all good, and they're not always right either, and they hurt their children, and those children grow up, and those children have to deconstruct what their parents taught them. And then, like, for me, example, I grew up in a fucking racist ass household, Christian conservative. I had to deconstruct all of that shit my entire teenage years, and to this day I have to continuously undo what my parents taught me.
Very understandable.
Don't say that.
No, I never said that it should be the basis of who you become.
You mean the other way around, Tashika?
Damn.
I am trying to say when you go off to society, you don't go like without any idea what it is. You get the basis from the family, and then you develop new opinions.
No, you actually develop both simultaneously.
You have a sense of self.
That is why children get confused.
Yeah, because their parents because you have this like automatic like
psychosocial schema.
Yeah, you have this automatic like love for your parents, right? Where you think that they are gods, and then you get older. Zift, hold on, but you get older and you go, "Oh, my parents aren't these gods that I put them in this place. They're actually humans with feelings."
Therapy.
Yes, and you cry in therapy, exactly. But so you grow up and you go, "Holy shit, my parents are fucking racist. My parents are bigots. My parents are this, and this." And so then you have to deconstruct that, because they've taught you how they think your entire childhood. And that's why I have a problem with just specifically learning from your parents, because your parents are bigoted and they don't even know that they're bigoted. Because they get to an age and they stop growing and they don't want to grow anymore. We think of like men and they don't want therapy, or women that don't want therapy. And so with these emotionally immature parents, there's a great book. It's called Adult Children of Emotionally Immature Parents. Great book if you've never read it. I don't know your life story with your parents, but it goes into like the social dynamics and the psychological dynamics between a child and a parent, and especially when your parents are emotionally immature. And then you have to do the work to deconstruct that as you're an adult. And so that's why I don't appeal to like the title of the book is Adult Children of Emotionally Immature Parents. Anyways, all I'm trying to say is that your parents shouldn't be. You should be finding yourself, and your parents shouldn't be the people that give you all of your morals. You should pick and choose what you take from them, but also be finding yourself in the means of that.
that's what I meant with development. But when I say I follow traditional norms, I don't say I follow sexism or anything of that sort. What I understand under traditional norms is respect, equal respect towards anyone.
Traditional norms are not equal, though.
Let it be a stranger, let it be my neighbor, let it be my cousin, or let it be my
that's not a
sister.
traditional norm.
Okay, Ziff. I feel like we're going in circles and circles and circles, and we could probably have a conversation for like three hours. But I am going to move on because I do want to talk to other people. But I do appreciate you, and we can talk another time. Okay?
Okay, well, then bye. Thank you for the conversation. Bye.
Absolutely. Take it easy, man. All right. I appreciate you, Tina. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
All right. Take it easy.
Bye.
Bye. Yeah, if you're joining and you think being lesbian is wrong, click the guest cross to debate. Sorry, y'all. I want to keep it interesting, and I'm sure it got real boring. So. We are on TikTok. Everybody's attention span is like this.
Like this.
It's like this. Ain't nobody got the attention.
Did y'all see I met Kamala Harris last night?
I did.
I was all up in her grill.
I'd be up in her grill too.
I had front row seats, W agency.
Wait, somebody said, get Tashika fired up and won't be boring anymore. She's a radiant goddess, period. Alright, if you are joining and you think being lesbian is wrong, I might hit the restart if this person does it. I might hit a restart.
It was sweaty as hell in that motherfucking auditorium.
What's up? How old are you?
Oh, dang.
I might have to hit a restart. I think I bored everybody.
Nah, you be alright.
I be alright?
Yeah.
Well, nobody's in the guest request. Everybody left.
Well, just wait. And breathe. If you keep restarting, it'll genuinely fuck you up.
Well, I've already been on for an hour and a half.
Oh, are you gonna be done for today?
No, I'll hit a restart and we'll see. All right, if you're joining and you think being lesbian is wrong, click the guest cross to debate. Y'all like it up. Get to 100k likes. What's up? How old are you?
I'm 27.
All right. Do you think being lesbian is wrong?
I really don't give a damn. I just wanted to tell you something because I just wanted to really back up on what the other guy said. I'm an ex-Muslim, right? So as someone like you said that you have to what do you call it? You have to distract from what you had learned. That is so true because it is so hard because you still have the value in your within you, and your parents are trying to still foster within you. So it's very hard, but you know what is right and wrong because as you grow older, you learn more better things than what they taught you. Like being racism is like being taught, and I know because I seen racism growing up. So I understand. So
yeah. I appreciate you so much. I appreciate you so much, but I am just looking for debates. But I appreciate you. Take it easy, okay? Thank you, Matt, for the roses. I think I'm gonna hit a restart.
Oh, that's a book. Okay.
What's a book?
I text you.
AG versus anti-lesbians coming to you in June 2025. You know what I want to do? I want to do the Surrounded episode on Jubilee. Me, like a lesbian, versus 25 anti-LGBTQ people.
You gotta lock in for that one. You need to study.
There's nothing to study. Those people are fucking dumb as all hell.
I mean, but you do have to realize, though, but if it's going to be a debate, they're going to debate you. And debates are not always...
yeah.
You can debate something and be wrong and win. That's the thing. So...
Yeah, but I mean, their arguments are going to be... Yeah, but their arguments are going to be like...
You'll be surprised.
Have you had a good argument against being lesbian?
No, because I know how to debate.
Yeah, but same here.
I'm not saying that you don't know how to debate. I'm saying that
what are you saying?
There are a lot of rhetorical challenges that I've come across.
Like what?
Like for example, when they get into meta conversation and things like that.
Like
determining wrong or right.
Oh, like morality?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think the people that Jubilee picks though are ever going to be as smart to be able to do that.
I know.
Because they're all right-wing conservative.
If you're overqualified, they actually reject you.
Really?
Yeah. I know
Well, you're
someone.
overqualified.
I know someone who has a master's, and they were like, "Yeah, it's not going to be good if you come on."
What?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm here to restart, y'all. Since it's dead. Are you gonna come back? Are you gonna go live?
No, it's Thursday.
What does that mean? You don't go live on Thursdays?
No, and Sam's coming over. Maybe I do.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. I will be right back. Forgot that my thing's not connected. Thank you, Lotta. Appreciate you. What's up, Archie? How's everybody doing today? Is Tashika coming? Maybe. She's got to read something. What's up? What's up? I'm hungry. In class, writing down notes, watching this. Hell yeah. I love whenever y'all will tell me like you're painting or you listen to me while you're like playing or something, doing something. I'm good, Archie. How are you? Where's Sam? On their way to Tashika's. Perfect live to listen to while playing Nintendo 64. Hell yeah. All right. If you are joining and you think being lesbian is wrong, click the guest quest to debate.
Hello, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you, man?
I'm not a man. I don't know why. Why are you miss?
Okay, I'm sorry. What are your pronouns?
I'm a man.
Okay. So why do you think being lesbian is wrong?
You know, it just wait. Are you religious at all?
Why does that matter?
No, I'm asking you a question.
No, I'm not.
And what are your pronouns?
She, her.
She, her.
Yeah.
So I can call you ma'am, correct?
You can call me what?
I can call you ma'am, right?
Yeah.
Okay, ma'am. Oh, are you religious at all?
No, I just told you I'm an atheist.
You're an atheist. See, I think that's the root of problems right here. That's like the root on why you're lesbian. And
I wasn't always
from a
an
religious
atheist, brother. I've been a lesbian since I was in kindergarten, and I was religious, and I have Hebrew tatted on my neck. So I don't really know how that applies, but go for it.
You were Christian?
Yes, until the last 2 years of my life.
Okay, so in Christianity, can you be lesbian?
In Christianity, can you be lesbian? If you want to go by the old text, then yes, because the
no, I want to go by everything, just the whole religion, the old text, new. It doesn't matter.
Well, the old text never said homosexual. They were mistranslated. It said Malakoi and Arsenikatoi, which never meant homosexual. They removed the words pedicos. That's why P3DO isn't in the Bible anywhere, even though that was like super prominent back then. So it'd be odd for God not to put that word in there, but he did actually.
I'm talking about the old New Testament. I'm talking about everything.
Yes, I'm talking about everything. I'm talking about the Old and New Testament, the old scriptures, Bibles, in Hebrew and Greek. They did not say homosexual in the old Bibles. Now,
sure?
if you want to talk about the new Bibles, yes, I've read them.
You're positive, but I mean, I didn't come here to argue about your religion or anything, because.
Oh, I'm not religious.
Anyways,
so there's something to argue about religion with me.
Is you being lesbian the reason why you left Christianity, or what?
No. I was presented with an argument that I couldn't. I was a Christian, and then I was presented with the problem of evil with God, and I couldn't dispute it, and so I critically thought about it and continued to research about like all of the like arguments and like listening to people like Christopher Hitchens, like Forrest Valakoi. I don't know how to say his last name. Matt Dillahunty. A lot of these atheists that make really good points, and I couldn't face them, so. I was like, "There's no reason."
Have you researched any other religions?
I think they're all bullshit. There is no like proof of God's existence. I need evidence of God's existence. I'm not gonna believe in something based off of faith. That's bullshit. I wouldn't believe in anything based off of faith.
Okay. My first question: what do you believe? How was the universe? How did it come about? What do you believe there?
What is this? Do you disagree with the prompt or not?
Oh no, not. I fully disagree. Yeah.
Okay, so are we gonna stick to why being lesbian is wrong, or are you gonna ask me my life story?
No, 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 no. It's just the religion is a big factor of why.
Yeah, so you can just
You
go
even
into
do
what
this.
you think. You don't have to ask me my life story.
I'm not asking you about your life story, man.
You are.
I'm
You're
trying to
asking. Yeah,
build
you've asked me everything about like my religious realm and how I came to
life story. I'm not
This is
even
not an
asking
interview,
your name.
bro.
Damn, you're so oppressed. What's going on?
Okay, so are you gonna tell me what you think being lesbian is wrong or not? Period. All right, moving on. If you think being lesbian is wrong, click the guest request to debate.
Yo,
What's up? How old are you?
18. First of all, I just wanted to say that previous guest, you did not treat him well. I think he was just trying to understand where you come from ethically, so that you guys could have a conversation that whose points don't pass right by each other.
Okay. I don't really care what you think. So, do you think
So
being
then why
lesbian
are
is
you
wrong?
hosting and asking people their views on, I'm assuming, what's your sexual persuasion if you don't care what they think?
No, I don't care about you tone policing me. That's what I don't care about.
I'm not tone policing you. I'm saying that you were
You
in
are.
plight and shutting down the premise of his argument.
straight up saying that you don't think that it was fair. It's a debate. I don't care. So
Yeah,
if you're
because
not going to
shutting
stay
down
on
his premise
topic, if you're
because
not
you
going to
didn't
stay
like
on
it.
topic, if you're not going to stay on topic, and then you're going to ask me how I came about to my religious stuff, like that's
Cool.
kind
So
of
what's the
weird.
definition of wrong in your eyes, so I can define it?
What's the definition of wrong in my eyes?
Yeah.
Well, it's a moral question. So my morality derives from three things: empathy, what causes unnecessary suffering for humanity, the well-being of humanity, and then just like what's good for society as a whole.
So
Four things.
basically,
It's a mix of things.
harming the innocents is bad, is what you're saying.
Yeah, but there's also context. Morals aren't black and white.
Right, of course. So I'd say that pretty much if I was operating from a secular viewpoint and that was my stance, yes, 100%. I think that sexual persuasion is ultimately harmless to pretty much everyone around them, and any harm that I think could come out of it is limited to that person. So that's kind of out of the question. Though the point that I'm going to make is, in Christianity and the Judeo-Christian value system, the reason why it's wrong and why pretty much every Christian will call it out as wrong unless they're a progressive Christian that don't abide by scripture, is marriage and sex are defined as covenants between a man, a woman, and God exclusively. And I'm not talking about in Leviticus where they said to stone people for doing such. That is old law. With the new covenant has completely invalidated the Old Testament.
Yeah, so that's wrong. So
Christians
Matthew
don't abide by
5,
that.
what does Matthew 5 say when Jesus is speaking about the law shall not pass until heaven and earth are gone?
Correct. That is
So what does that uphold? In fact, Matthew 5 says that the law does not go away. It's just there's a new covenant between you and Jesus. But the moral laws stand. And the Levitical
Those aren't moral
Mosaic
laws,
the Mosaic, and yes, they are moral laws. Homosexuality,
definitely they're
not
not.
eating shellfish, yes, they are.
No,
So the
they're
moral laws
not. They're
stand.
ceremonial, traditional, and moral laws. The ceremonial laws are the ones that limit food consumption.
Okay. Yeah, but what did Jesus say in Matthew 5 about the laws? That they
What
shall
does Jesus?
stand, right?
What does Jesus say about marriage? He says this between a man, a woman, and God. It is repeatedly described as a covenant
Yeah.
between a man, a woman, and God. What's
Yeah.
the definition of sin? Anything that deviates from God's will. So, therefore,
Yeah.
if God's will is for marriage and sex to exist only within a man, a woman, and God uniting into one, then any deviation from such parameters would be defined as sinful because it is a perversion
Yes,
of
I
what
know
was
this.
originally intended.
Yes, I know this.
Okay, so then
So
you
what's your
would
point?
answering your question, why is lesbian being wrong, the thing that you have behind you?
Oh, okay. So because God said, and if you deviate from God, homosexuality, blah blah blah, that's why it's wrong for you.
I say from the Christian perspective, yes. But like I said, if you hold a completely secular worldview and base your ethics off of something that ultimately isn't concrete, you don't have an objective morality because that doesn't exist without a God, then yeah, there's nothing wrong with
God's first of all objective. Is God a subject?
what? God is the only thing that can define an objective good or bad because he is above our conceptualization of morality.
Is he a subject?
In this case, yes, but one we can't understand.
Okay, so he's subjective. If you can't understand him, then how can you take what his words are for morals?
Because I can read him influencing humans on earth who he had very real interactions with, preaching his law.
Okay. So how do you know that the morality in the Bible is true?
Well, I think that the fact that the Bible was written by 44 different authors over 1,500 years over 4 continents, translated through 8 languages, has the most cross references as any piece of theological literature in history. I think that that is at least worth a slight consideration when all of those stories, all of those books, all of these things all line up, cross-reference, and corroborate with each other. They corroborate with real-world archaeological evidence and hold one common.
What archaeological evidence?
Well, when you think about the cities in the Middle East, location of Garden of Eden, location
that's like saying
locations of burnt cities sacked by Solomon. If you would please
that's like saying
locations of sacked cities by Solomon.
That's like saying Spider-Man exists because New York is real.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
I'm not saying that those are ultimate proof. All I'm saying is that it is worth consideration. You're ignoring again the fact that it is written by 44 different authors over 1,000 years. Has the most cross references.
I don't believe that helps your case. I don't believe that helps your case.
Why not?
Why would that help me?
That all of these evidences that point to it being a consistent story to one creator.
A consistent story doesn't make the morality in it true.
Maybe not to you, but all I'm saying is that you're trying to
asking you, how do you know
the piece of literature when it is most definitely
it can be a piece of literature that doesn't make the morality in it true.
So it doesn't make your morality true either. All of the philosophers that you
morality is subjective.
Your own subjective morality is not
morality
true.
Is subjective. That's a definition. Morality is subjective. God isn't even a subject. God's morality is subjective.
It doesn't come from a human subject, though.
A human subject?
Because God defines good and bad. Therefore, he is not a
prove God exists.
You don't ask God, is this
prove
good
God
or
exists.
bad? Can you tell me
prove
God
exists
to the rules?
Prove God exists.
Prove he doesn't.
It's not my burden to bear.
You can't.
You make the positive claim. You make the positive claim. It's your burden. It's your burden.
If you it's your burden. Stop talking over me.
No, it's your burden.
The most insufferable people I have ever had a conversation with on this app. I can't get a thought across, and you ask loaded questions.
Congratulations. So again, prove God exists.
So am I going to be able to talk without you talking over me?
Yeah, go for it.
Thank you. So first thing is saying prove God exists is like saying prove the Big Bang. You can't do it. You can't prove science.
Yeah, we can't prove.
Can you please shut up and let me talk? Good
Holy
God.
Shit.
Good Lord. You
Holy
can't
shit.
prove scientific creationism. What the Big Bang and the theory of evolution is a gathering of evidences. You look at evidences and you make a theory and a justification as to why these evidences corroborate with each other and what story they tell.
Yeah, we can demonstrate them, right? So demonstrate God exists.
Again, please, if you could let me finish. To prove something is to say that it cannot be another way.
Yes, so just demonstrate God exists.
Science can't even do that.
Give me some evidence.
I've listed multiple evidences for you. The world itself.
No, you haven't. Not God. You just said about the Bible.
The Big Bang. The Big Bang breaks the second rule of thermodynamics. Can you explain that?
The Big Bang breaks the what? The second.
Do you know what the second law of thermodynamics is, or no?
No, I don't. I'll look it up though.
Thank you. A key principle is that something can't come from nothing. Therefore, there must be.
Yeah. So prove God did it.
Prove anything but. So what do you think did it? Are you just arguing?
I think the universe, like the cosmos itself, has been eternal. I think the Big Bang explains the expansion of the universe and how the universe itself has come into existence. But outside of the universe, we can't go before Planck time. So we can make any assumption before that. You can go, God did it, a fairy did it, a dragon did it, whatever the fuck makes you feel better. I really don't care. But before Planck time, we can't make any assumptions. You're presupposing that God did it, but the cosmos and our universe, like our specific universe, outside of that, like I think it just was eternal. I think it's always existed. Now, the Big Bang explains the expansion of the universe when time, matter, and space began. We can't go before that. So, for you to presume that God made it, you'd have to demonstrate that in some sort of way. Because you don't have any demonstrative.
At this point, it is a battle between a creator or not, and I think that the idea of a universe of non-creation is questionable to say the least, because what was the domino? Who was the person that set the dominoes up, let alone tipped them to begin the flow of linear time that you're describing? How would the universe have existed outside of the flow of linear time, or the flow that we can understand, had there not been a creator that operates outside of those parameters?
I don't think that we need that. I think it can just exist. I think it's just existed.
You think time has always existed?
No,
you think the universe has always?
I think the cosmos outside of our universe has always existed.
But again, like I said, the second law of thermodynamics states that something cannot come from nothing. So explain how we started.
We can't
with
go.
literally
Yeah, you can
absolutely
make
nothing
any
but empty space,
presumption.
dark
You can
matter,
make
and
any
a few
presumption,
molecules of
but the
gases,
evolution.
and then
Okay,
we
first
ended
of
up
all,
with a vast
the
universe.
Big Bang does not claim a biogenesis. It doesn't claim that it came from nothing. It explains when time, matter, and space began, but it didn't come from nothing. There
Yes,
was
it did though,
something
because
there. No, it didn't.
where did the time
No,
and
it didn't.
space come from?
No, we can't go track before that. We can't track before
Right,
that.
not with science, because science can't explain it. You're right, exactly, because it was created by a creator that you can't quite understand.
I can't, but you can.
No, I'm not claiming to at all. There are many things that God does that I have no idea why. If you ask me why God allows childhood cancer, I would give you 4 words. I do not know.
Okay, so again, you can't even demonstrate that God did it. Is the problem here? But
Ask
if
any
also
Christian to demonstrate to you and
if you
prove
go by
outright that God
the
exists.
Bible, you believe first of all the second law of thermodynamics says something can't come from nothing. If God is your subject of like being able to put something into nothing, who created God?
Yeah, God's not bound by the laws of physical matter, man.
Okay, and who says that the universe is?
Because the universe is physical matter and exists within the physical dimension. It is the worst question you've asked to date.
Okay, so sorry, I don't do fucking Philbro conversations often. Let me see. So under your worldview, you can just presuppose God did it, but you don't have to demonstrate that whatsoever, even though.
I think that it's an unfair thing because you can't demonstrate your worldview either. So saying, well, you can't demonstrate it, so your God's not real. Well, you can't demonstrate yours.
How can I not demonstrate my worldview is real?
Because there's no outright proof. Because if there was outright proof to what you're saying, then everybody would be an atheist. I would be an atheist. And not to mention, if there
atheist is the non-belief. Atheist is a non-belief in God because there's no evidence
that God does exist and that God created the universe. That would defeat the whole purpose of intentional and personal sacrifice of your life to Him and His purpose. What sense would it make if God literally appeared in the sky and said, hey, boys, hey, guess what? I'm real, and gave everybody no choice but to follow Him? That defeats the whole purpose.
You know what's funny about that, though, is that your God wants to be worshipped really bad. He would know what it takes to save everybody. And so if he's actively not doing that... Who do you think you are as a human
to question my God and His intentions? Who do you think you are to say that? Well, if
I
God
can do whatever the fuck I want.
That is ridiculous.
Your God condones slavery in Leviticus and Exodus. I could care less for your God's morals. I can question any God. Also, we talk about like the Greek mythology. And
again, if you understand moral, ceremonial, and
gods,
traditional laws, you'd stop bringing up Leviticus and Exodus.
Why would I stop bringing those up?
Because those are traditional, moral, and ceremonial laws that only existed in those times for those people. Because it was a specific way for people to abide when there was not a new covenant to be saved by.
Guess who commanded them?
Nobody could meet the standard of God.
Your God that doesn't change. Guess who commanded them? Your God that doesn't change. Your God that doesn't change commanded them.
The God that doesn't change sent His Son down to die so we could have a new covenant.
So God came down as Himself as a loophole for His own rules that He created. You don't understand the Christian
theology.
Yeah, I do. So your God came down as Himself, sacrificed Himself to Himself as a loophole for His own rules that He created. He didn't even have to do that to begin with. He could have just forgiven.
For God so loved the world that He sent His only begotten Son to die for the sins of me and you alike.
Is Jesus God?
Yes.
Okay.
If you want to get into
I don't fucking know why you're
debate
saying that
here,
shit. I don't know why you're saying that shit.
If we're going to get into a Trinity debate here, this is going to take a very, very weird turn.
We're not getting into a Trinity debate. You brought up
So then don't bring up the Trinity and try to use it as a disproof, because I can explain the Trinity to you, but you'd probably get bored and kick me off here before you actually
Trinity,
understand
dude.
it.
I grew up as a Christian. I fucking Hebrew tatted on my neck. I know the fucking Bible.
Okay, so then why is Jesus as God invalidating to my point?
For what you just said. You just said God sent His only Son. I said God came down as Himself, as a loophole for His own rules that He created, sacrificed Himself to Himself as forgiveness. It's bullshit.
Again, you don't understand the concept of the Trinity. We can go down that road if you would like to, but you
How do
don't
I not understand the
concept.
How do I not understand the concept?
So Father, Son, Holy Spirit are the 3 pieces of the Trinity.
No, I don't need you to explain it. How do I not understand it?
Well, I'm going to explain it to you because it's very clear that you don't understand it. You were conflating.
No, tell me what I don't understand. Tell me what I don't. Tell me what I don't understand. Tell me what I don't understand instead of explaining.
I've been trying to tell you if you'd stop talking.
No, what you're trying to do is mansplain. I don't want you to mansplain to me. I asked you a simple question. What do I not understand? And now you're trying to explain it to me. What do I not understand?
Yes, I'm trying to explain it to you because you asked. And just because I'm a man doesn't make it mansplaining. And just because you don't like it doesn't make it mansplaining. Let me talk, please. The Father, Son, and Holy Spirit are 3 separate entities of the same being.
Yes, I know
the same deity. So therefore, Jesus Christ coming down to earth, Jesus Christ was a human being. Jesus Christ was his own independent person. However, he had what we as humans, broken humans, born into the world of sin, lack, which is a direct and intrinsic connection to God. He had God as part of himself as we were intended to when we were originally created. That was all mucked up, as we know, when, whether figuratively or literally, those two people ate the fruit in the garden and Pandora's box was open for sin, right? Mm-hmm. So God sending his son down,
did he need to do that?
Did he need to? No.
Yeah.
But he loved us so much that he decided to, because do you know do you know before Jesus what the standard for salvation was? Do you know what the standard for salvation before Jesus was?
Yeah, sacrificing.
Correct. And other than that, if you didn't sacrifice or repent or atone, what was it? What was it other than that? What was it if you didn't sacrifice, repent, or atone?
God is all powerful. He could have changed the sacrifices, right? He didn't have to have you sacrifice anything. That's why I criticized your God.
What was the punishment?
Why did he need sacrifices?
If you'd answer my question, you keep redirecting the conversation every single time we seem to start going down a path that's actually going to be productive, and you just change it to another surface level demonstration. So again, I'm going to ask you, before Jesus died and before God sent the sacrifice down, if you didn't atone or sacrifice animals to protect you from the punishments of your sin, then what was the standard for salvation? What was the only way to get into heaven?
Why did he create that system?
No, I'm asking you a question. What was the only standard?
I don't understand what you're asking.
Perfection. Before Jesus, the only way to get into heaven without atoning or repenting for your sin was perfection. Do you think
that's just?
God so no, and that's why he gave them ways to repent and atone, because he knew that they would fall short of the grace of God. And then
why would he set up a system of sacrificing?
Jesus died on the cross and suffered the most insufferable death that anyone could imagine to pay for everyone's sin. So he says, look, I'm going to send my physical deity down here to suffer for what you guys have done in this world that I created for you to enjoy for you. I will suffer and die.
God didn't need to create it that way.
I will rise again to demonstrate my deity.
God could have changed the rules at any fucking point. Why did he have to do that?
Could have, should have.
Yeah, he could have. Exactly. That's
why didn't God do it earlier? Is your question? In my word.
No, my thing is, why did God set up the system in the first place?
4 words. I do not know. I don't know why God.
Okay, congratulations. You're right there with me. Another fucking criticism of your God.
Because you don't understand it, it's bad. Because you can't understand.
No, because I think it's disgusting to set up this binary. Yes, absolutely, to set up this binary that you have to be perfect, even though he created you imperfect. He put the serpent in the fucking Garden of Eden. He set up it all this way, him knowing everything. We can go back to Abraham and Isaac in fucking Genesis, even though he knew that Abraham trusted him. We can even go to the book of Job whenever God talked to Satan and said, "Hey, have you seen Job?" We can go through all of these stories. God knows all of these things. Your worldview is very flawed. God created this binary system of heaven and hell, and if you're not fucking perfect, you don't make it to heaven. That's fucked. He knows that we're not good.
You're missing the point of what I said, though, is that the standard was perfection, because all.
But God didn't have to create it that way.
Because all fall short of the. Well, the
God
thing
didn't have to create it that way, but He did.
God didn't make us imperfect. That's the thing. He didn't make us and endow us with sin. He didn't create us and say, here's a little sprinkle of evil, so you can't help but rebel. That's not what He did. He created us, and he was given 2 choices. Either one, he creates beings that he ordains must always obey and worship him, even when it is against their own will. So it is not free will at that point. It is an ordained cyborg that is bound to worship you no matter what. Or you give them the option to turn their back and turn away from you, because then that means that all connection that they have with you is true, intentional, and by their own will. By giving us free will, he opened up the opportunity for sin and for wrongfulness.
Is it love to create this binary where you suffer eternally in hell and set them on fire? Is that loving?
But there's no binary, though, because everyone can be saved. All you have to do is accept Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior.
Yeah, but for people like me that need evidence, that don't think that God's real, but God knows exactly what I would need to believe in Him.
Jesus loves you. He was a real man who died, and there.
I don't believe it. Okay, prove Jesus resurrected and that He's the Son of God.
Well, I mean, first name Josephus, I forget it, Josephus Flavicus, actually, that was his name, Jewish historian, 100 years after, not 100, 70 years after the death and then supposed, rising again when Jesus left earth. He wrote about Jesus being crucified and about the shit that went down in the Roman Empire after Jesus had left, because the Jews had realized that they had killed their Messiah. That he described the earthquake that happened when Jesus died. He described the storm that rolled in as soon as Jesus died. He also described the Romans having meetings and discussing what to do about the supposed escaped prisoner because they didn't have laws for what to do when somebody had been executed and then rose again. So I encourage you to look into Josephus Flavicus. And then again,
no, I already know who that
Bible.
is. I already know that. I've read the Bible, bro. What the fuck are you talking about? I already know who Josephus is. First of all, he was a devout Jew, so I don't know why the fuck he would talk about Jesus being the Messiah. That would go against his own religion. Like who like the Romans were the ones that crucified Jesus.
Yeah, so why did he then? Why did he validate that the earthquake happened the moment Jesus died, that the thunderstorm rolled in the moment Jesus died, that his 12 disciples, all of them, by the way, died horrible deaths, swearing that what they knew was true? Why would they do that?
Yeah, I don't know. I'd have to look more into that because I haven't read about that part.
Well, I mean, I'm just letting you know, one of the disciples was hung upside down on a cross because he refused to be killed in the same way as Jesus. More were executed. If you know who Judas is, you know what happened to him. So the question is then, if it's so false, these 12 people that knew him, they died for a lie.
People die for lies all the fucking time. That doesn't help your
really?
point. Yes, people die for lies all the time. That doesn't help your point.
Can you give me an example of 12 people all dying for a lie like that, where all they had to do was say, yeah, I was lying. Yes, I was not telling the truth, and they died horrible deaths. Why would they do that? What's the motivation?
Yeah, the witch trials.
There's always an ulterior motive there, but there's none there.
Lots of cults.
They gain nothing.
Yes, lots of cults. Lots of people. Lots of people die for things that all the time.
But cults aren't gathered up and threatened with execution for believing what they believe. Cults cause harm, and then harm comes back unto them, which is most definitely deserved. The disciples didn't do that.
There are lots of people that die for things all the fucking time. That doesn't prove shit.
Again, so I'm asking you then, why did the disciples die for what they believed in? If it was just
they
false,
believed in it.
If Jesus was dead the whole time and didn't rise again, why did he appear to hundreds of people and they swore and died for it?
Do you want me to answer your question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. The same way that you would die if somebody put a gun to your head and said that you have to turn into a Muslim right now, or you have to say that you follow God, you would choose to just be like offed. You would die for it too. There's no fucking difference. People die for shit they believe in all the time. That doesn't prove
except
anything.
they knew Jesus. Like they talked to him. They had more personal interaction.
Can you prove that?
Saw him die. They saw him.
Can you prove that?
What do you mean? Can I prove that they're?
Can you prove that?
Accounts? Yes, read the Bible. They have first.
The Bible, the Bible makes claims. Where are their actual first of all,
Again,
where are their actual accounts? You have to prove.
Are you saying that the Bible is not valid historical evidence?
No, I think it makes a lot of claims. A lot of the Bible's what the Bible says is bullshit. First of all, if God is all knowing, then why the fuck does he not know the woman's anatomy?
What? Okay, that is out of left field and definitely a news headline that you saw somewhere.
That's not a news headline. That's straight out of the Bible. I can read it too.
Sure. Let me know what woman's anatomy he doesn't know.
Yeah. So let's go to. I think it's
And so, do you see how we've merged from like the actual argument to you just taking petty picks at the God that you don't like and you're so angry at?
I'm not mad at somebody that doesn't exist.
You seem pretty worked up.
I mean, you're being disrespectful. I mean, I'm worked up with you, but not with God.
Not at all. I think I've actually been very respectful to somebody who's been so antagonistic and
I don't really care what you think. Anyways, so Deuteronomy 22:13 through 25.
The idea that somebody doesn't automatically agree with you.
No, I do this all the time. People don't agree with me at all. I really could care less.
Right, you kicked the last guy off when he was trying to premise a question. Anyways, go ahead.
Actually, he left. I didn't kick him off. He left.
Well, good for him.
Anyway, so I mean, do you want to leave?
No, I can handle it. I can handle the interrupting. Okay. It's calmed down since the beginning.
Okay, cool. Anyway, so laws concerning sexual relations, Deuteronomy 13:22, or 13 through 25. Suppose a man marries a woman, but after going into her, dislikes her and makes up charges against her, slandering her by saying, I married this woman, but when I lay with her, I did not find evidence of her virginity. Meaning, do you know what this means?
Explain.
Okay, so when the woman, 50% of women don't bleed the first time, but back in these times, and like when they're talking about
like the breaking of the hymen, no?
Yeah, so when you're supposed to bleed the first time, but only 50% of women bleed the first time.
Right.
Okay, so I married this woman. When I lay with her, I did not find evidence of her virginity. The father of the young woman and her mother shall then submit the evidence of the young woman's virginity to the elders of the city at the gate. The father of the young woman shall say to the elders, I gave my daughter in marriage to this man, but he dislikes her. And now he has made up charges against her, saying, I did not find evidence of your virginity, daughter, or of your daughter's virginity.
Mm-hmm.
Then they shall spread out the cloth before the elders of the town. The elders of that town shall take the man and punish him. They shall fine him 100 shekels of silver, which they shall give to the young woman's father, because he has slandered a virgin of Israel. She shall remain his wife. He shall not be permitted to divorce her as long as he lives. If, however, this charge is true, that evidence of the young woman's virginity was not found, then they shall bring the young woman out to the entrance of her father's house, and the men of her town shall stone her to off, because she committed a disgraceful act in Israel by prostituting herself and her father's house. So you shall purge the evil from your midst. So 50% of women don't break their hymen the first time. 50% of women were stoned.
Right. Okay. So what you're saying is that what was defined as the evidence of virginity, you are conflating, I guess, evidence of virginity being the breaking of the hymen causing bleeding.
Yeah, so the evidence of their virginity in this time was that they
correct me if I'm wrong, but there's
that's why they're talking about the cloth. Is the cloth would be that she bled on the sheets.
Yeah, but I'm saying, obviously, telltale sign. And as much as it's gross to talk about, I think that it's like a really nasty practice, like checking for the hymen. Like, don't get me wrong, like this stuff. But I don't think that it would be fair to completely rule out the possibility of the fact that the actual evidence of, I guess, virginity here would be the permanent tissue alteration that occurs when someone takes vaginal penetration for the first time in their life. Because undeniably, the hymen may not break and might not cause blood, but
not everybody bleeds, though. 50% of women don't bleed the first time.
You're right. Like I said, it might not break and might not cause blood, but there's undeniably tissue damage that can be identified.
But why are they talking about the cloth then?
Well, because like I said, it's a telltale sign, but it wasn't.
That's the
defined.
Context to this is the cloth. But it wasn't. She bled the first time.
But it wasn't defined as the only proof. They kept on saying evidence of virginity, evidence of virginity,
evidence of virginity. Yeah. So, what do you think the evidence of the virginity is when they talk about the cloth?
Well, when we talk about like how perverse some old and traditional, like we talk about old Jewish culture can be, do you not know what hymen checks are?
So, does it speak about that in the Bible or no?
Evidence of virginity. Do you think that these people are beyond checking to make sure? Because if the truth is that 50% of people,
back then they thought that only women. I'm saying now we know this. Right. They didn't know this. So the only way they thought that a virgin was by her bleeding on the cloth the first time. So that's why I'm reading this to you, is because she did not bleed the first time. 50% of women did not bleed. And this is in your Bible, though. This is God's word. God's laws concerning sexual relations. So she didn't bleed, and she gets stoned. 50% of women that were innocent, that actually were virgins.
I'm going to be incredibly difficult here, and this is more of a devil's advocate argument. And I realize that if I was having this argument made against me, I would hate that it was brought up, because I think that it is a very big what if. However, can you prove that the anatomy and physiological makeup of women, their hymens and reproductive organs have been the exact same consistency, and these rates would have stayed the same throughout ancient history, despite the changes in diet, despite the changes in genome distribution, despite the changes in culture, despite the changes in climate, XYZ, all these things that do affect physiological changes? Well, damn, I should have brought my laptop. And again, I don't think that it proves that God himself doesn't know the female anatomy, though, that this was Jewish law at the time. I think that
is this God's word or not?
God's law was that adulterers were wrong. And so the laws that the Jewish people were able to, what they were trying to do to enforce said law was find a way to tell whether or not an adulterer was an adulterer. And so that was the best way that they knew how to go about it. I don't think that God ordained that, well, if she doesn't bleed on the sheets, then
I would say from everything that I'm reading that like we're biologically the same as we were like fucking.
So then I'll lean on my ladder. Because again, like I said, the former was a weak point, just kind of tossing it out there. I'll lean on my ladder.
Okay.
is that I would argue that's not God ordaining that this is the only way to determine an adulterer, is that this was the adultery being
No, I was saying,
wrong,
do you think that, okay, but do you think this is fair?
What, no, I don't think that people should be stoned for being adulterers. Absolutely not.
This is an adulterer. This is a virgin.
Well, of course, and then obviously if you're wrongfully convicted of being an adulterer, I don't think that you should be stoned either.
What's an adulterer?
Somebody who has sex outside of marriage or lusts after a woman whom he's not married to.
Okay.
Or other way around, goes with both sexes. But yeah, no,
I'm sorry, I think I was conflating adulterer with cheating.
No, no.
Anyways.
Adultery is just unholy matrimony, and any type of sex that's outside of that covenant of God that he describes it as. But yeah, so I think that I can understand how that can be conflated that way, that, God didn't know, but I again would argue maybe the perception that God defined adultery.
So you know God better than I do? If we're
No,
just
that's
make
not what I'm
guesses here.
asserting. I'm just giving you a different
If we're
viewpoint.
making guesses here, because I'm just reading the scripture and I'm saying that if this is God's word and God is saying that this is the laws concerning sexual relations, and if the woman doesn't bleed the first time, then she's out the shitter.
Right, what's your point? I'm saying that consider a different perspective. I'm not saying I know him any better than you are. I mean, I'm considering your perspective as we're talking about this, 100%. However, I'm operating from a standpoint of, well, I'm sure that the almighty creator of the universe has a reason for this and that there's some sort of logical explanation that is not his ignorance to the thing that he created and defined. So when we look at it, we have to consider, again, the fact that why is this practice being done? What was the purpose of it? And why were the Jews implementing these laws? It's because adultery was defined as wrong. Was this specific method ordained by God himself? Because also understand where Deuteronomy came from and how it was appropriated into the Bible. Understand how every single book was appropriated into the Bible. It was by a basically league of Jewish historians and scholars that had very, very strong ties to all traditional Jewish practices. So there would likely need to be major context for old Jewish practices to explain the laws that they were upholding. No. Would you not also assume that the apostle that did write, well, I guess we wouldn't be an apostle. Would you assume that the person that did write the book of Deuteronomy would include the Jewish methods of discovering an adulterer? And does this automatically make it that God thinks that this should be done? Or that God thinks that this is the only way to identify? Because that's not what it says. It says that this is the rule that adultery is wrong. And this is how the Jews identified an adulterer.
Yeah, but it's your God's word. That was my criticism. Your God's word. He doesn't know woman's anatomy. Women were stoned for this. And God that's all-knowing, should know your anatomy. He made you. Shouldn't have allowed this to happen.
Can you read the verse again, starting from where they talk about the verse before they talk about the sheet? I don't have a laptop or anything on me.
Yeah,
I can't access the screen.
Yeah. Where'd it fucking go? How did I lose it? What the fuck? Okay. This is Deuteronomy 22:13. I'm just going to read from the jump again. Suppose a man marries a woman, but after going into her dislikes her, and he makes up charges against her, slandering her by saying, I married this woman, but when I lay with her, I did not find evidence of her virginity. The father of the young woman and her mother shall then submit the evidence of the young woman's virginity to the elders of the city at the gate. The father of the young woman shall say to the elders, I gave my daughter in marriage to this man, but he dislikes her. And now he has made up charges against her, saying, I did not find evidence of your daughter's virginity, but here is the evidence of my daughter's virginity. Then they shall spread out the cloth before the elders of the town.
There was some sort of confirmation that happened before the cloth, and it seems like the cloth is the final piece of damning evidence that's, well, look, when this happened in the moment,
You're presupposing that. I'm just taking it as it is.
Well, I'm reading it literally, and it says
I'm reading it literally too. So the evidence,
So again,
the evidence
read the verse
to me,
before.
the
It said
evidence
that
to
there
me,
was
I did not
a
find
check and that
evidence
they
of her virginity. Yes, but the cloth is the only evidence. That's why they bring up the cloth, and
But
the
that's not
cloth
true,
is
though.
what.
There's
But what
evidence
else?
of
What other
physical
evidence
tissue
would they?
damage.
So what other evidence later in the scripture does it say? Do they bring to the elders? The only evidence they bring to the elders is the cloth.
But that doesn't mean that the evidence previously mentioned can only and explicitly be the cloth. When they say, why else would there intentionally be another mention of checking of evidence of virginity prior to presenting the cloth? Because the cloth.
Why would that not be written in here then? So
Again, I'm going to give you an answer. I'm not sure.
Well.
But I'm telling you that your argument is not as concrete as you think it is because
I'm just reading it as it is.
Detail.
I'm reading it as it is.
You're reading
they say submit the evidence of the young woman's virginity, and then the cloth would be the evidence.
Again, what does the verse before it say?
I did not find evidence of her virginity. And then they talk about the cloth. The cloth is the only evidence that gets spread out of her
Not
virginity.
only that, but what else did it say? Not that he just didn't find evidence of her virginity.
That's it. That's all it says.
Right. So husband consummates marriage. Evidence is not found by husband. Raises alarm. Oh no. So was she not a virgin? Let's check. Disgusting, nasty practice. I don't think that it's crazy to imagine that these ancient Jews knew that half of these women that
so then what
didn't bleed during their initial, I guess, consummation of marriage weren't actually adulterers and actually just, I guess, had a stronger hymen or one that didn't break, or the dude had a little one or whatever it was.
Hymens are really easy to break.
So I guess it was just the dude had a little one then, huh? So again, but then you're saying that over 50% of them didn't.
Well,
So
first of all,
you'd
50%
imagine
of
that there
women
would be some
don't
sort of
bleed.
fail-safe to check this.
No. I don't think they were smart enough to fucking check about a hymen if they thought the only evidence for virginity was fucking bleeding on a cloth.
Right. So like if you bled, it's like, yeah, well, there's got to be something that's causing the bleeding. No, I mean, hymen checks have existed throughout ancient history. It's disgusting, but it has existed.
Yes, my point being though is that they don't know what we know now, that 50% of women don't bleed, but God does.
Right. So again, back to the actual point of all of this. So you're arguing that because of that, God's immoral and just wanted women sentenced to death?
No, I'm saying, how does God not know his own creation's anatomy to outlaw this law or like not allow this to happen?
I'm going to have to give you a 4-word answer there. I do not know. Why did God make the law against murder, knowing that people would be wrongfully convicted of murder and that there was ways for evidence to be presented that don't ultimately corroborate with it?
Do you think, okay.
Because does wrongful conviction of sin prove that sin shouldn't be identified as such because one could be wrongfully convicted?
Wait, say that again?
I said, does the potential for the wrongful conviction of sin, I guess, being blamed for it in a court of law like we're talking about here, does that preclude his law from being righteous? So making murder wrong, is that precluded from being righteous because people can be falsely accused of murder, or because people maybe even can kill someone for the right reason, like self-defense? You
gotta be careful with the words you say. You gotta say like off and
unalive, like TikTok words. Sorry.
No, it's okay. Yeah, this is why I have a problem with like I think like we talk about like the Greek and Hebrew words, but like the Bibles we have nowadays are so fucking just like black and white, whereas like the Greek and Hebrew words had like several meanings to the words, but when we translated them, they made it very black and white, which I don't like. So when we're using them as like a moral statement, where it's like lying is a sin, okay, well, do you think all lying is a sin? I wouldn't say that if I was at a bar with a woman and this man was harassing her, asking when she gets, let's say that she's a bartender, asking when she gets off, where she lives, all this kinds of stuff, and she's lying. Like, that's why I think like this black and white lying is an abomination. It's a sin. It's,
right.
All that shit is bullshit. Like this
saying
binary.
that it's very situational, right? Like lying for your own safety.
Morals are situational. All of it. That's why I'm saying like I think that's why it's good in the Bible. It says like the unjustified murder of somebody. Like, I agree with that. I think that unjustified murder is wrong, and there's no way to like go around that. But like, if we're talking about lying in general, like God hates liars. It's like, okay, well,
God doesn't hate liars. God hates lying. He doesn't hate liars, though.
well, yeah, but like lying in general, I would never say I hate lying because it's situational.
Well,
that's a moral.
I can
That's it's a moral thing, right?
I'd also say, like, because I understand and I agree with you. I agree that lying is one of those things that is very situational. However, looking at it from our perspective, where we're looking at this broken world,
but God thinks sin is sin.
Again,
that's my issue.
Right. Where we deal with these things.
I think that's like the super flawed system that God made. Like, sin is sin, whereas like homosexuality in the Bible is abomination, and so is gossip. Those are nowhere in the same playing field whatsoever. So if I'm for something that I didn't choose, I'm an abomination and I'm going to go to hell unless I choose to be celibate for the rest of my life, which is fucking obnoxious for something I didn't choose, and that doesn't cause harm to anybody, doesn't hurt anybody. But then over here, gossiping is also an abomination. What kind of like these aren't like proportionate whatsoever.
Right. I'll respond to one part of it and then the other. One, you're not going to hell because you're homosexually attracted and decide to engage in those particular activities. I myself have my own vices that I engage in every single day and that I try to walk away from and that I just can't. I fail every single day and fall short of the glory of God. The good news of the gospel is that you don't have to be perfect and that you can fall into those temptations every single day and submit your life to Christ and say, hey, look, I know I'm imperfect. I can't make it into the kingdom of heaven, but I hope by your grace I can. Anyways, I do agree that I think that it is odd thinking about somebody who would view murder and lying with the same weight. But then again, we have to consider the atrocious hate that God has for anything that's wrong, right?
How can so like let's lay it out in the Bible is like
and yes, I want to respond to people because they're going to come after me. No, you can't just live in sin and say, yeah, Jesus got me anyways, and be saved. You're right. Someone had said something that you have to be reborn of spirit. Right. You have to pick up your cross every single day and try to live through Christ, but you do not have to be perfect.
Yes, and I find that to be heinous in itself by the way, because God no. Under your worldview, God handed you a broken vase and said if you drop it, then you're going to hell. God created you that way.
No, he didn't though. He created
a set of circumstances. He put the serpent in the Garden of Eden.
No, he didn't. The serpent made his way into the Garden of Eden. God created Satan. God created angels.
So then it wasn't perfect. The Garden of Eden wasn't perfect if the serpent made itself in there.
Well, again, you're conflating the origins of sin. Misconstruing them. The origin of sin was the first was Satan rebelling against God, right? And him and his fallen angels fall. And then Adam and Eve choosing to exercise their free will and violating the literally one rule that God had laid out for them. They could do whatever they want. And they were tempted.
What did God say and what did the serpent say in Genesis?
What did God say? Well, God said, do not eat from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. And
you will surely die.
You will surely die. Right.
And then what did the serpent say?
He said, if you eat it, you will be as powerful as God. He doesn't want you to eat it.
He didn't say that. He said, you will know good and evil like God.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. You will start reaching towards God's power and understanding. And that was the original downfall of humanity. And that was the reason why free will led us into sin. It wasn't.
First of all, we already had. If you had free will in the Garden of Eden and it was supposedly perfect, so then why do we have to go through all this bullshit?
Because again, Adam and Eve chose to violate God's law because they ate from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil.
Then it wasn't perfect. God didn't create Garden of Eden perfect, which he said he did.
It was perfect, and it was going to be perfect.
What's the definition of perfect? What's the definition of perfect?
Without flaw.
A better version of the Garden of Eden would have been the serpent was never created. God created the serpent.